In today's video, we see over 15 off-road camper trailers from Overland Expo West. And if you've seen my videos before, please subscribe. It helps out a lot.
Hey, what's up everyone? Shane here with ROA Off-Road. We're at the Flagstaff Overland Expo. This is a brand new trailer. Very first time you're seeing it. It's probably on this video, so make sure you give them a sub for bringing this exclusive content to you. This trailer literally has come out 2 days ago, and it came straight to this show to be revealed here. So this is a company called Pause. It's actually owned by Forest River. This company, they have 9 different floor plans. A lot of people have complained about the weight because a lot of them are like 8,000 pounds. You need a heavy duty truck, diesel truck. So finally, Pause really listens to all the feedback that we give them. And finally, they've now released a 4,500 pound trailer, which is right here. So you're gonna be able to easily tow this with a half ton, potentially Jeep Gladiator with a max tow package. But let's walk around this thing. So we have indoor, outdoor kitchen, cooking area. We have a grill top. We have some storage underneath this grill. And then this is an outdoor sink. And then you have hot and cold water that you can use to spray in here, and it just hooks in to this spot right there. Now we close this up. We have a fridge or freezer, and then you have a food grade cutting board up here. This closes, and there you have it. I love this because when I'm actually camping and driving down the street, if I want to stop and grab a drink really quick, that's where I put my drinks, whatever. Not like alcoholic drinks while I'm driving, soda pop, right? Anyway, coming over here, we have a front articulating hitch. Now this is really cool. If you're into the off-road overland space, everybody knows about articulating hitches nowadays. Cruise Master is kind of the most famous one, but you see Mick hitches, you see poly blocks from Australia. This is made in America. The guy who dreamed up the Pause, he said, I want to make everything in America. So this is actually a 2 5/16 ball hitch. So this is the largest ball hitch you can get. And when you open this up, it becomes a full articulating hitch up and down. It will move side to side for your camber. But when you get on the freeway or the highway, you can lock it back in. And then you can also use this with weight distribution hitch if you wanted to, for eliminating any potential sway. Of course, another thing I want to point out is they do have the Anderson connection. So if you pull this out right here, you have a connection where you can plug in your Anderson plug, and this will allow you to charge your batteries up to 50 amps per hour while driving, which is a lot of amperage. Now coming down here, we have our stabilizers jacks. These are manual, so there's just a crank tool that they come with. And then over here, we have an electric tongue jack that you use this to lift up and down to be able to get off and on your truck. Coming over here, we have a pass-through storage, and that goes all the way, not actually pass-through, sorry, my bad, the backside of the kitchen. And then of course, another thing I want to point out is this area is heated. So this trailer is considered a 4 seasons trailer. So the entire underbelly is covered, has a shield under here, and so it's completely protected with the aluminum underbelly, and also the heat is ducted down into there so the water tanks don't freeze. You also have pads on the water heater. And then another thing is this is an aluminum frame and everything is huck riveted, so these are not welded. So this goes through a machine, a laser cutter, and it will cut out every single hole perfectly every single time, the exact same spot. Everything's huck riveted together, so you're not dealing with human error, with welds. And the cool thing about huck riveted frames as well, you see this on semi trucks, suspension bridges, you see it on airplanes, jets. Huck riveted is generally designed for more vibration, so it's gonna be better for off-roading, and it's gonna just stand the test of time. Of course, we have a ladder that goes up to the roof, so you can access and be able to get up to your solar. Moving back here, we have a bike cargo rack. This does fold up and out of the way, so you don't have to have this down while you're in transit if you're not carrying bikes, and you'll have more clearance. But if you wanted to put some cargo on there, generator, bicycles, no problem. Now, I was mentioning the solar on the roof. It does come with 600 watts of solar on the roof and an additional 800 for expandable with briefcase. Those briefcase were in that front compartment that I opened up, and you could see. Now right here you have two solar charge controllers. These are Victron systems, so you have one that goes directly to the roof and the other one is going to go to the briefcase panels. So 1400 watts of solar, that's a crazy amount of solar for a trailer that's only 14 feet long. Now the battery system, you can have, it's expandable anywhere from 270 amps all the way up to 1080 amps of battle-born lithium. That's a crazy amount of power for a small trailer like this. As a comparison, and you might want to go and double check, make a comment below if I'm wrong, the Earth Roamer, last time I checked, they were putting around 14 or 1500 amps of lithium. So we're talking $1 million bus or motorhome, and this almost has the same amount of power in a teeny little trailer, which is crazy when you think about it. You can run the air conditioner off grid. The reason why is because you have this Victron 3000 watt inverter that will charge the system when you're plugged into shore power, and when you're off grid, it will take the batteries and allow you to invert them so that you can run your air conditioner, your microwave, laptops, camera gear, whatever you want to plug in and charge, you can do that because of that inverter. Right here, this is, I pointed it out up front, that was that DC to DC charger. This is the newest Victron DC to DC, and it is a 50 amp. So that will allow you to charge that 1080 amps of lithium at 50 amps per hour while you're driving down the road. So your truck essentially becomes a generator for your trailer while you're driving. And then over here, this is the Servo GX. This system actually is the brains of everything. And if you were to have an issue, something was off, you can call in our tech support line. We are headquartered in Utah. We have a guy that can actually remote into your trailer and can tell you what's happening with your electrical system, if there's an adjustment or something that needs to be reset. So really cool to be able to get into your system and help you down the road. At ROA Off-Road, we believe that the sale should all the service should happen after the sale, and we have this exclusive tech line where you can call in and get all that type of stuff done, which is really cool and unique. A lot of places don't do that, and we do have stores all over the country now to be able to support you better. We got an outlet right here. You might say, why the heck is there an outlet randomly up here? I guess charge your e-bikes if you wanted to in the back. That's a good reason. There is also an option for a table that drops down right here, so it can become a prep area, or you can use it to throw gear down and charge stuff on it. It's actually, you want to point out that table right there? So it's this table. You can kind of see it's a big old table. So that can be installed onto this little guy. Obviously that's going to add weight. One of the really cool things about this trailer is that 4,500 pounds. So when you start adding too much stuff, it's going to obviously increase the weight. This also has a more ride suspension. There are two different suspension options, a rubber shear spring suspension option, which is what this is sitting on right now. Now that is the lighter of the options, and you're going to have about 4 inches of travel. Now, if you want to go to the most robust, most incredible system, you're going to go down to this one, which is going to be your air ride independent more ride suspension, and that is going to give you 12 inches of travel. It's going to give you the ability to get to a campsite and be able to level side to side. Really incredible. And the ride, everything is going to articulate like crazy. And you can see that's a picture of the air suspension. You're going to have Bilstein gas shocks, as well as limiting wire so it can't overextend. And then come on inside and I'll show you how beautiful this little guy is. Here we are inside. One of the things that I really appreciate about this is you can have a table all the time in here and be able to kind of sit in this corner, have a space, and not intrude with the bed area. You can be able to close this, put this out of the way. Lots of outlets. We have a tower right here. Gives you 2 standard outlets as well as USBs. Around the corner over here, we have an additional outlet. If that 1 wasn't enough, if 2 wasn't enough, you got 4 outlets. Lots of power in the MDC trailers. Right here, we have another tower, as well as more USB chargers. And then by the bed, at the foot of the bed, you have a very large TV, and there's an outlet behind this area. And this kind of comes and swings out, and you can, sit at the table. Massive TV. I don't know if you need all that. Also at the head of the bed over here, where you're laying down, you'll have your regular outlets, you'll have 12 volt for a CPAP machine if you need that, and then you have the USB-C and the standard USB, as well as your control for your furnace at night, which is really nice, because if you're sleeping at night, you don't want to get up, you could just control the heat right there. Easy to manage. We have lighting over the bed. You also have another outlet up here too, I didn't point out. So it's kind of a his and hers outlet. These are like the little details. I mean, like, holy moly, do you have enough outlets in this trailer? You absolutely do. This storage, these latches are metal and they're locking. So when you open that up, it's gonna come out of the way. One of the cool things is they have, I mentioned there's like 9 different models, and previously they were all white, this side and this side. And so they've kind of done this two-tone wood grain on this newest model. And this is super deep. It's really hard to tell, but this is a really good amount of storage space. Of course, you have some coat racks up here as well. And then moving on over to the kitchen area. This is a Formica material, but you can option it out to get a solid surface. It's an acrylic, but it feels like a Korean rock material. And then of course you have lots and lots of storage up here. Another thing is I want to point out is the walls, the way these walls are designed, they don't actually run wiring in the walls, which is a good thing, because if you ever had a break or an issue with your electrical, how would you access it? It would be very hard. Also, it really helps with insulation, because you're not boring out holes through the wall and creating gaps in there. So the insulation is super good on these, all of the Pause lineups. Some of the best insulation, I think, in the market on a trailer that you can buy. 4 seasons, but they're good in hot and cold. Now, the wiring, because they're on the wall, they're actually outside. And so you have these panels here. So you just remove these screws and then you can pull this panel out and you can access all the wiring harnesses behind the panels. So I just think that's really important for servicing it down the line. And then coming down here, we have lots of storage underneath here, as well as a big storage area under here. We do have a little cover, and this goes on right here. So the sink drops down and you can cover the sink and be able to use this as a storage spot. Coming over to here, we have a stove, and then down below the stove, we have a microwave. But this is not just a microwave, this is also a convection oven. But it's not just a convection oven, it's also an air fryer. Now, one of the things that I absolutely love about Pause, and the man behind Pause, which is Maynard, is he's super responsive and he listens to the market. And so a lot of people are requesting an air fryer. They're like, can you do an air fryer? And here you go, got an air fryer. So underneath the bed, right over here, we have some nice storage as well. And everything soft close with the locking latch. Everything works off switches. You got some nice lighting at the foot of the cabinets, just that extra mood lighting. And then coming over into this space, you have your refrigerator. Now I showed you that little freezer tray outside for your soda pop or beers at camp. But inside you have a fridge and freezer. These are 12 volt refrigerators. So they're gonna completely work off of battery solar, and you're never gonna run out of like gas or propane. As long as you have sun, you're gonna be able to keep on going. And then the little storage compartment, trying to utilize all the space, even down here. Look at that, got another little storage compartment. Got a lot of cleaning supplies in here because we're at the show. Everybody makes messes of everything. And once again, you have that ability to access the panels back there. And then Truma is the air conditioning system in here. And Truma is really, truly one of the best components companies in the world. It's a German company, and they're known for making some of the most efficient water heaters, furnaces. There's the AC just kicked on, and that is completely off-grid. We are not plugged into anything, and we're running air conditioner off-grid. That's incredible. Coming around here, I want to show off some of this. This is your Victron system. Look at this. We're at 100%. Believe it or not, we had this AC running for like 2 hours yesterday because we came in and did a live video, and we were running the air conditioner yesterday, and here it is today. We're at 100% power while we're running the air conditioner. Of course, you have all your lights switches in here and your awning to control your awning on the exterior, and that awning also has lights as well. Now, last of all, a trailer that is only 14 feet, you do have a dry bathroom. So it has a separate shower area and a toilet. Now this is a black tank toilet, 30 gallons. And if you don't like that or want that, at ROA Off-Road, we always option toilets for people. Take the toilets out and we can put any type of toilet you want. Incinerator toilets, those are toilets that burn your poop to ash, and then you can throw it out, you know, in the fire pit. Literally non-toxic. But there's so many different options out there, like composting toilets. So you don't have to, if you're an off-road, you're truly, you know, want to be off-grid, you can option for any toilet. But that is the all-new Pause. This is the 14.3 reboot. This is, like I said, one of the best built trailers in America that you're going to be able to see. You can go out and do the research, but you've now seen it here on this channel, so don't forget to go down and subscribe if you want to learn more about these types of trailers, or you want to come visit ROA Off-Road and see all of our lineup. We are one of the very first purely off-road dealerships in America. We have 4 stores now: South Carolina, Arizona, Colorado, and in Utah. And all we work in is exclusively off-road, off-grid, overlanding, camping trailers. And we are always in the pursuit of excellence, so we're always trying to find the best built, best quality. So go to our website, it's rvsofamerica.com or ROA Off-Road. We also have a YouTube channel where we do tons of crazy stuff and tour these trailers, try to flip them, break them, and you can go check that stuff out. Hey, have a wonderful day, and don't forget to subscribe. See you later.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Trevor with Lifestyle Campers. Behind me is our Fusion trailer. This thing is really cool. It's a little bit more compact than our E4 lineup, but a lot of the same amenities, just in a different kind of a layout. This trailer is going to be more suited for smaller, tighter trails. The height when it's closed is going to be just under 7 feet tall. It's a little bit more narrow. Little bit less living space inside, but big living on the outside. Come check it out. So we have a external table. This folds up nice and flat against, but just additional counter space. Single door lifts up. You have the full kitchen here. Dual burner induction cooktop, sink. We have overhead storage. Lots of storage here. We have cutlery drawer. And then we have roll up, roll down, so stuff stays where it's supposed to while you're traveling. And one of my favorite things is this little guy here. Creates a nice little place for your bread, your chips, and you'll never have crushed chips again. Spice rack and even more storage back here is great for pots and pans. Coming around to the back, we have same firebox as the E4 as an option. Again, with underneath is open, so you have dirty logs, it'll fall through, wet clothes, they'll dry out. Again, full-size spare. One of the things on the Fusion that I really like is we're able to get rock sliders all the way around it, so when you're hitting the harder trails, your investment is protected. On this side, we have our storage area. I like to call this the garage. It's, you know, over 6 feet length of storage and 5 feet deep. It holds a ton of gear. So no matter if you're, you know, inflatable kayaks, rock climbing gear, it can all fit in here. Behind the panel over here, we have access to our 12-volt fuses very easily. But you ever want to do any service on our full Victron power system, including a 3,000 watt inverter, DC to DC charging, solar charge control, it's 2 screws, the entire panel comes out, and it's super easy to work on. We also have overhead storage here, just like in the kitchen area. This one in particular, I always put the dog shampoo and dog treats in here because we have the external shower right here. So when we're out adventuring, dog gets dirty, we can wash them up before they get in the trailer. Same goes with, you know, bikes, kids, gear, all that good stuff you can clean up. All of our trailers have a dust suppression system. This is a very unique, incredible technology that we use. It's super simple. It just sucks dirty air in while you're on the trail, puts it through a filter, creates a positive air pressure on the inside of the trailer. That way, if there's any movement in the seals, it's going to push clean air out versus sucking dirty air in. Underneath here, we have access under these two panels for our water tanks. We have 52 gallons of freshwater capacity in this one. Your water pumps, batteries, everything is really easy to get to if you ever need to do any maintenance or service. Moving on to the front, we have additional storage back here. We have a pass-through, which is great for your anti-flap kit, fishing poles, anything long can go into there. More storage under here. This one also has our diesel system in it, so same as E4, Truma Combi diesel, hot water and furnace. Same firebox, so propane and a little bit of firewood storage in the front. DO35 fully articulating hitch, handbrake, arc jockey wheel, all standard. So this is one of my favorite features, getting the Weber BBQ, and it's on a quick slide out drawer. Like that way you can get your grilling on while you're out. All of our Fusions also come with the Cruise Master airbag suspension, and this is the single push button for raising and lowering the roof, dust suppression system, and just a light on the inside. All of our trailers come standard with a rollout awning as well, so shade is super important. Let's check out the inside. Because of the compact nature of this trailer, a little bit more crowded on the inside, but you don't spend all this money, all the time and investment to get out and adventure to spend time inside of a trailer. We want to focus on being outside and living outside of the trailer, but you still have enough room in here for comfortable sleep and a comfortable place to hang out if you ever hit any bad weather. Again, queen size mattress. We have power ports and lights on both sides. The nice thing is not only can you charge your phones and electronic devices at night, but there's 12-volt cigarette outlets. So if you or your significant other sleep a little cold, you can always plug an electric blanket and not get roasted on the other side. Sirocco fans, one is standard, this is option out for 2, and air conditioner standard as well. So this one is set up for dinette. The dinette is super easy. It's on a gas strut. You just lift and push down. Now you can throw the pad on, and you're set up to sleep. Oh, I loaded a little too much, so. And we have an optional top bunk as well. And with the top bunk, we actually have these safety systems. So if you've got a little one, you can just hook it up to the roof line and you don't have to worry about them rolling out. And just single pushes out of the way really easy. So standard, we have our interior ensuite on this guy with a cassette toilet. This one's actually optioned for a composting toilet. We have our shower over here that can come off. And now you got full height. And when you're ready to wash up after the bathroom, you have a mirror that folds down to the sink. And then right behind you here, we have the same 175 liter Thetford fridge freezer. So lots it's easy access to grab things on the inside or outside. And we got the freezer down there. You get your ice cream or your chilled vodka. So another cool thing about Lifestyle Campers is they really think of every little nook and cranny for storage. So the stairs going up to the bed are actually drawers as well. So very big pull-out drawers. And then even behind here, you have more drawers. And on the other side, there's 2 more drawers and a cubby. So every single inch is usable space. So they've thought of everything. And if you want more information on this trailer or any of our other trailers, go ahead and check us out on lifestylecampers.com.au.
Hi there, so we're here with Kimberly Campers USA at Overland Expo West. Behind me here we've got the Kimberly Caravan, so that's Karavan with a K. This is our hybrid camper in the market. We've been building these in Australia for about 17, 18 years. We've been exporting them to the States for the last 10, consistently for the last 5. So this camper here actually sort of is on a hybrid. What it does is it pops up and then the bed pushes out. So it does actually fold down to the same size as our Kube. In fact, a little bit smaller than the Kube over there. But the bed pushes in, and essentially it's just a remote control. It's an actuator system that lifts that top canopy. That'll drop all the way down and sit around about the 2 meters in height. As with all the KK-DNA, we're running diesel-powered hot water systems on these. We're running lithium batteries, solar, all of them are airbags. That's remote control leveling as well. We're running solar across the whole top. We're running the rooftop air conditioners, inside and outside kitchen, inside and outside shower. So in this particular unit, we've got a large stainless steel kitchen here. We've got the dual cooker, which is the gas burner cookers here. They're basically 2 single burners with a high BTU. As we go inside, what you'll see is we've got a full inside toilet and shower. We've got seating for up to 4 adults and then the queen size bed. So we just pop one up here. So from this side here, the table will come all the way out here, so you can sit up to 4 adults pretty comfortably here. This particular unit also has a bunk bed set up. These 2 chairs here form a bunk bed, so you can fit 2 kids up to about maybe probably 5'8". A queen size bed, that's memory foam topped. It's what we call an inner pocket spring. You're sleeping north-south. We've got LED lights, reading lights at the head. We've got USB charge points on both sides there. We've got little holders for iPads, laptops, and your devices. And then we've got drink holders for bottles of water on top of that as well. This bed will slide down. We've got storage all the way underneath here, storage in through here. So that'll go a whole lot of storage in through there. And then we've got diesel heaters, and we either use a space heater off the hot water system or we use a diesel air heater, which is a 2 kilowatt. We've got some space in through underneath here, and then we've got basically all of our drawers through there. So we've got storage all the way down through here, and then storage all the way down underneath the cooker over there. Once again, 130 litre fridge freezer in here. But what we'll do is we'll show you up the end here. So this is really innovative in the Kimberly camper range. We've actually got a full-size toilet and shower here. So on the toilet, this one here, we either do composting toilets or this is the wrap-on. So the wrap-on will basically take your number 1s, number 2s, put it into a little bag, lock it in there. So the innovative thing here is this is our Kimberly designed swing away toilet. So from there, we just basically pull a little lever. That'll rotate all the way out, lock in place, and then we get a full-size shower. So that there, we've got a shower screen that comes around here, and we've got people that are about 6'2", 6'3" can stand and have a full-size shower in everything that compacts down to the size of a camper trailer. Various multimedia options up the front here. We get the Fusion multimedia with the radio and Bluetooth speakers inside there. We then put portable 25 or 28 inch TVs. So we're running smart TVs. We're also running Starlink on most of the units as well, just giving people connectivity everywhere that they go. Once again, in these particular units, there's no wood in the construction at all. All of it is composite, so the whole floor. And in fact, Kimberly Campers are one of the first manufacturers in the world to actually use the recycled plastic composite in the foam walling. So we get a German fiberglass skin, and then we import a recycled plastic. So from plastic bottles, that gets turned into composite panels. We're running commercial industrial floor planks that come in from New Zealand across the whole floor. All of that's double insulated for the winterization in the US here. So on our 2 water tanks that we've got on board this year, they all get insulated with heaters inside the tanks, and then that goes into the vans themselves. On these particular units, I guess with our winterization and just getting people more comfortable with all the amenities. We're running air conditioning systems. At the moment, we're running either a 12 volt or a 24 volt or an 110 volt AC air conditioners on these, and it all comes down to the actual efficiency of the system that the customer's trying to achieve. So for us here, what it's all about is actually matching our options to a customer's requirements, and we have a suite of options that are accessible from our website, which is www.kimberlycampersusa.com, and that's Campers with a K, so KIMBERLEY,
Hi guys, my name is Paul. I'm with Opus Camper here at the Overland Expo in Flagstaff, Arizona. I'm going to walk you through the 2025 OP13 model. It's relatively new for us. We launched it last year. It's about 9-10 months into its product life cycle at the moment. A few differences between the 13 and the 15, so I'll try to highlight those, and then a lot of the obvious similarities as well. So starting typically as I always do over here with the full slide out kitchen. Full stainless steel kitchen. You've got 4 ring burners here, cook a full family meal. You've got a chopping board for extra prep space. You've got your utility drawer, and then you've got extra storage inside of this drawer, and a little bit of storage inside here as well. You've got your dish rack up there, and then you've got all the exterior lighting for the kitchen. So cooking meals in the evening, this is all lit up, and then this lights up as well. And then finally you've got some extra kitchen lighting up here. This changes color from both like a bright white to like an amber color, and that amber color is important. If there are a lot of insects around, then they're less drawn to that kind of amber lighting. Then you've got the pantry storage here. So, I mean, we put the accessories in here, but you could put pots, pans, crockery, cutlery, cans of food. So, extra pantry storage here, and then all the water, hot and cold, is plumbed as standard, so no hookups necessary, directly through to the slide-out stainless steel kitchen. And then the prep space has been expanded beyond the OP15, so you've got extra space behind the prep deck, so you can store some stuff here as well, so spice rack, and then any other items that you want to put here as well. So the prep space has been made even more usable. Towards the rear first, here's what we'll do. You've got jerry can holders, so you can put 2 6-gallon jerry cans on the rear of the unit, so they'll travel on the back of the unit when you're heading down the road. And then for 2025, the fold-out king bed section has now got gas struts all the way through, so it's never been easier to set up camp back here. And then there's 2 full-size spares on both the 13 and also the OP15 as well on this rear bumper. Towards the front of the camper, we've got a dual chamber 75-litre Dometic unit. Fridge freezer, both fridge, both freezer, whatever it is you would like. And then on the 13 we've also got this huge pass-through storage compartment, so it goes from passenger side to driver's side. Absolutely massive amount of storage here. And then on the tongue, like with all Opus campers, we've got the ARC 750, the DO35 articulating hitch, we've got the handbrake. And then new for 2025, we've got a dual propane tank propane box. So this can hold 2 20-pound propane tanks inside of this box here. We've also pre-wired it for DC to DC charging, so we do all the hard work. We've got the Anderson connection on the tongue that terminates in the battery storage compartment, so you can add a DC-DC charging, like an ARC BC-DC setup inside of this unit. And then there's also the exterior water access, so this is a fresh water. You can put in the standard garden hose here. You can rinse off surfboards, fishing equipment, your pets, just before everyone goes inside. And now taking you around the side of the camper. Again, this is the other side of the storage compartment, just to get the full pass-through effect. And then we've got a exterior hot water shower tent that is connected to the hot water shower in the exterior of the unit. You can also connect additional ZAMP or solar panels using a standard SAE connection. This is the other jerry can holder on the rear here, and then all the standard US 30 amp freshwater connections, standard black and grey dump valves, US standard dump valves on these units as well. I'm going to take you around the front of the unit now. So the OP13, as standard, has 405 amps of lithium batteries built in. It's got 400 watts of solar mounted onto the roof. It has got 63 gallons of fresh water, 17 gallons of grey water, and then 10 gallons on the black water tank. Dry weight is about 4,800 pounds. The gross vehicle weight rating is about 6,600 pounds. And then the water tanks, we've put heated pads. so they'll run off of your 12-volt system. And then the roof as well for the 2025 models is now push-button actuated. So we've got Linac actuators built into the camper. You hit the button and then the roof sets itself up. Again, taking some of that stress and strain away from when you're camping, just make it really easy to set up inside of the unit. And then I'm currently stood underneath the Fiamma F45S. It's an 8-foot rollout awning. It's been pretty windy here today, and this thing has held itself solid. So yeah, really great awning. So I'm going to take you inside the unit now. So inside of the OP13, what we've done to keep it as insulated as possible, all of these rear panels have been insulated. So if you're utilizing your heater or your air conditioner, you're not going to get a lot of that heat bleed outside of the unit. We've installed a Truma Combi Eco inside of this unit. It's a real punchy heater, great for a camper of this size. We also use a Dometic on the OP13. We use a Penguin 2. You'll need a generator for that, so 2200 watt Honda generator should get the job done. We've got a king bed, and on either side of the king bed we've got the storage compartments. The sockets on either of these storage compartments are fed from the batteries via the 2000 watt Victron inverter charger that's built in as standard. It's got a standard TV, and then the Opus Camper bamboo cabinets that now have lockable storage on them, so when you're traveling some of those rougher roads, everything's not going to come tumbling out of your cabinets. And the bamboo's stunning, it's really nice, it's really vibrant, kind of handles the light really nicely, but great for keeping the value inside of your unit. So easy to keep it looking fresh, keep it looking new. If you scratch it or dent it, it's easy to sand it down and like recoat it. So again, keeping the value inside of your unit. You see the ceiling heights are quite tall. I'm 6'1", so what are we at? 6'5", 6'6", 6'7" in terms of ceiling heights. It's nice and comfortable. It feels big, it feels airy inside of this unit. And then again on the bed section, we've got 12-volt fans, one on either side here, and they will pull from your battery. And then we've also got touch lighting here on the bed sections, and then there's USB charging there as well. In the bathroom, this bathroom for the OP13 is colossal. Absolute ton of space here. In this section back here, you've got storage for shampoos and soaps and shower gels and all of that good stuff. And then yeah, absolutely massive bathroom to get a feel for, you know, just being able to take a real comfortable shower. The OP13 is built for couples camping, so as opposed to the OP15 where we have bunks on the front, in the OP13 we instead have this kitchenette. So we've got a 2-ring burner cooker and then a hot and cold water sink. So if it's particularly nasty outside, or it's first thing in the morning, get coffee on, fry up some bacon, and then obviously do the dishes here. So you can hide out inside this unit as well if the weather starts to get a bit inclement. And then behind the kitchenette area is even more storage. So behind here you've got some netted storage as well. And again, all of this is bamboo, very high quality, solid, not veneered woodwork. So it's going to hold up over time. It's very high quality. And then we've got the insect screens. Again, this is on the 15 and the 13, and then the full blind. So you can black out the camper inside of the unit. And there's also a blackout blind on the main front door as well. Those are the main features and fixtures of the OP13. Like I said, my name is Paul. I'm from Opus Camper. We produce these in California, in the East Bay area in Pittsburgh. If you want to find us, you can find us at www.opuscamper.us. You can call us on 925-215-7315. And we've got dealerships across the United States. So, hey, we look forward to hearing from you.
Justin from Patriot Campers here again, and I'm going to run you guys through our brand new model. This is the only one in the United States, and this one was actually specifically built for SEMA last year, where we exhibited with Toyota on the Toyota booth. This is the Patriot Campers ST5. This is our truly first live-in model. Has internal living, bathroom, shower, sink, but we're still very heavily focused on the outdoors. The amazing thing about this product that you see, even for its size, it's quite small in the caravanning or hybrid type world, but it's large for a Patriot camper coming from the X range. This thing here, as you say it dry, weighs 3,500 pounds. So you can tow this with absolutely anything. Any of your standard half-ton pickups, fully loaded, can tow one of these with their ATMs at 2.6 ton. So even Jeep, now you can tow one of these with the Jeep. Can't tow it with the Bronco, but Tacoma, and then up from there. So then you go into your full-size trucks. And that's what Patriot Campers is very heavily focused on. For us, the biggest hindrance that you will get when you go off-roading is always going to be weight. Some people have the misconception that it's size, and yes, size does play a part of it, but your weight is the thing that's always going to kill the tow vehicle. So you can see here we're still heavily focused on outdoor living. That's what we're all about. Huge pantry, 95 litre fridge. You can see all the different food preparation areas, slide outs, hot and cold water at the sink. You've still got a massive food preparation area here. Induction cooktop on this one. So this trailer is running off the new Red Arc manager system. We have a 3000 watt inverter as standard and a 50 amp charger as standard, all running through Red Vision, and 460 amp hours of lithium battery as standard, which can be upgraded to 920 amp hours if you need it. Electric awning, we focus on everything being easy, everything kind of one touch. The big focus for us and the big R&D on this one here is the introduction of our new Trinamic suspension. Trinamic suspension is fundamentally a radius arm style suspension, similar to what you'd see in, say, the back of a side-by-side, but we're offering 250 millimeters of suspension travel. Like most trailers that you will see is about 70 millimeters. I'll talk in inches for you, so call it about 3 inches of travel. This thing here is running at 10 inches of travel. The big advantage of that travel, again, bit of a misconception is, you know, for rock crawling and those sorts of things, yes, there is the advantage there, but the big advantage is the ability of Trinamic suspension to take big, fast-paced impacts. So with that sort of travel, running on the roll sleeve airbag and on disc brakes, this trailer can run over corrugations, ruts, holes a lot quicker, a lot faster without bottoming through the stroke and hitting bump on the shock and throwing the trailer all over the place and destroying everything that's going on inside. So if you like to travel quick, that's what this trailer is really all about. Moving around the back, we've got rear entry on this trailer. The rear entry has been designed very specifically. Once again, that's our main living area, our main entertaining area. You'll see trailers with doors in the side that really interrupt that flow of people when something's going on in the kitchen. So we've gone with a rear entry, which gives you an automatic patio when you set the trailer up. So when you pull up to camp, open the rear door, you're sheltered, irrelevant of what the weather is doing. And then once you come inside, you've got airbag suspension controls and all of your other controls in here for everything else.Moving inside the trailer, let's jump in here and have a look. So this is our Fink edition. This one we launched specifically for SEMA, that we wanted to bring something a little bit different and show really the capacity of what the company is all about now. With the Fink edition, you get carbon fibre bench tops, all Alcantara interior. You get the Fox remote reservoir shocks in the suspension, method wheels, 35-inch tyres, and blacked out canvas on the inside. This is an optional kids bunk here, so you can sleep a kid up the top there, a child, but that during the day, that can just fold away. That sits up there, and I won't go through the setup right now, but if you can imagine this table here, when you go into bed mode, table drops down, mattress folds over, and that offers you a queen size bed. Around this side here, you can see you've got a full stand-up shower with ample room to turn around inside there, and a composting toilet. Over this side, you've got small bench area. There's storage everywhere, all underneath the benches and underneath the seats, diesel hot water, and you also have air conditioning in this unit as well. So irrelevant of the temperature outside, you can get it controlled up to exactly where you want it. Probably the last thing I want to show you, let's walk around and go around the outside there. This has been the biggest engineering feat that we've had in the ST5, which is our service module. So if you open this up in here, this is absolutely everything that could be serviced. Fuses, relays, switches, everything is housed in one area. You will not find in a Patriot ST5 a fuse or a relay hidden underneath something where a customer can't get to. We want you to have the ability to go remote and go where help isn't. We don't want you to be anywhere near somebody that can help you. That's what the Patriot life is all about. So we're trying to give the customers the ability to fault find and service and fix their trailer should something go wrong. On the production models, there's a full schematic inside this door here, which shows all of the wiring diagrams, your pinouts, your water system, your air system, and should you have an issue, the chances are you're going to be able to resolve that. If you can't, you go to a mechanic anywhere nearby, anywhere in the world, and off that schematic and that service module, they don't even need to get inside of your trailer. Big storage area at the front, so more bulk storage area. We do have an option for a pull-out slide in here as well. For more information, jump on the website, patriotcampers.com. If you want to see one in person, you can get out to the Patriot Campers showroom in Las Vegas, or catch us at one of the Overland Expos.
What's up everyone, Shane here with ROA Off-Road. I'm down at the Overland Expo in Flagstaff, Arizona. This is actually a brand new MDC USA. This is the XT12 HR, and that stands for hard roof. So no canvas, no pop top. The XT is extreme terrain. The 12 is a 12-foot box. Total length is just over 18 feet. But come over here, let me show it off. Lots of cool things. You have a little prep tray. This flips up out of the way, so when you don't need it. And then right down here, outlets. So if you're a camera person, you got gear. Everybody has gear nowadays, right? You can be able to charge stuff. Lighting, really good lighting. That's one of the things. So this company's been in business in Australia for going on 20 years. And they've just dialed in so many little details that you don't see in a lot of trailers. Of course, you always get an off-door light. You also have the Ember, which deters the bugs at night. So you have a white light or Ember. Another thing is you have a light right over the kitchen. And I sometimes see where manufacturers don't put a light over the kitchen, which drives me crazy. You have a light in every compartment. It's so many little details. This is all an aluminum kitchen, slide out kitchen. Got some cutlery here. The details of these kitchens is just superb. Right here, you have a Thetford, and they have an exclusive deal. This is a British company that they work with, and look how they CNC everything. Everything is custom built by MDC. They're unique in the sense that they really oversee all the manufacturing of their trailers and all the design. But like, look at this. You have little slots in here, and they actually lock in right there. Sometimes you'll see them where they just poke, or they'll just kind of hang out here, but then the wind comes in and doesn't hold it really well. And then the other thing, like when you close this up, you have straps right here that lock everything in place. So this thing's not going to be rattling like crazy down the road. Another detail is they actually put rubber grommets here. I've seen other manufacturers where they don't do any of these things, so you get scratches or they bounce all over the place. Lots of little details like that you're going to see in the MDC. Hot and cold water outside, it's all pre-plumbed, so you don't have to plug anything in. You just open it up, turn on the sink, and you're ready to go. And like this, like look at the attention to detail. So this little tray, you can put dishes on here, rack stuff, but then look at this little lever. See this little guy? That just turns and locks in, and so this actually can't move. And then you pull that lever out, twist it to make it drop. Right? I mean, like, that to me is like, that's the 20 years in business that you see. And then that goes down, you're gonna lock it in right there. And then this whole thing will slide in all the way out of the way. Now you have a little lock right there, push that, drop down. You have some extra storage. This is actually, there's an inside table that you can pull out and fit in there as well. Also a leg post, holds the kitchen, gives it more support. This right here, you can't see, but it opens up, it's really big. You can put a 95 liter Dometic or whatever type of brand of fridge you want, 95 liters. And it has two connections. It has the standard cigarette lighter connection, which kind of sucks. So it also gives you the Anderson connection, which connects really, really well for off-roaders. That's what you want. Cool thing too, I'll show you on the other side, as we walk around, details. Like when you look down at this, you see gussets here added. You see also a gusset here. All of these types of things I've seen in these smaller manufacturers where they don't do those things until the weight of this wheel eventually breaks. When you've been doing it for 20 years, those are the things that you dial in. Ladder to the roof, you have 300 watts of solar on the roof. Inside you have a 400 amp hour lithium battery. It's a Renogy. I'll show you that inside. Stabilizers. One of the things that I do like about this does come stock with a cassette toilet. This is like one of my favorite toilet options, just because when you're off grid, you have the ability to take this and go dump it somewhere, right? Another cool thing is it has a little handle, so you can use it as carry-on. It is the approved size for the overhead bins in the airplane, just so you know. But just saying, Renogy, Mega Hub, sway control system. So this is actually has a built-in sway control. So the way I like to explain that, it's like traction control on your car, right? Everybody has it nowadays. It's a safety feature. So if the trailer ever got out of control, it would auto brake and start braking the thing and straighten it out again. And then of course we have Truma Appliances, our German company. They are some of the best appliances in the world, really. Over here we have another light, and you have lights all around, 360 degrees. And also you have your amber. This also has a white light. The white light is a lot brighter, but this is nicer for the ambience and to deter the bugs. Over here you can see there's a track that slides in. There's an actual outside shower kit that comes out and expands off of this. And then you can open this up and you have a shower, hot and cold shower. So if you don't want to shower, there is a shower inside, I'll show you in a second. But if you don't want to fill up your gray tank, you can shower outside. Also dogs, kids are extra dirty. You do have the fills here. It's 42 gallons of fresh water, and then you have a 30-gallon gray tank, or 25-gallon, I forgot. Don't quote me on that, double check me. Truma AquaGo. This is once again an on-demand water heater. This right here is your furnace, and then this is just the other side, little compartment area. This is your canvas. So this has an annex on it. So what that is off the driver's side where the kitchen is, the awning comes out, and this is an entire enclosed annex room. So you have walls, floors, completely encloses that outside kitchen and essentially doubles the size of the trailer under canvas. Another thing that I want to point out, Australians are obsessed with like trying to not let dirt come. When you go into the outback, that red dirt, super fine, gets inside. I'm from Utah, same thing. But look at this. So we have a gasket here, and then we have a gasket on the door right here. And then we have an additional gasket right here. So they call this the triple sill gasket door, and these are super thick compared to most doors, so they're insulated as well. And then this door handle, this is called a cam lock. So when you actually pull this, it's gonna suck in right here. See that? So it actually has where it actually sucks in. So when you close this in, it pulls in and creates a good sill for dust and dirt and sand. Coming over to here, you have spots for jerry cans, and then this box holds the propane tanks. So you just have the standard 20 pounders. Now coming over here, this is really important. I always say you're not a true off-road trailer if you don't have an off-road hitch. And this is an articulating hitch, and it will swivel side to side, actually all the way around 360 degrees. You can go up and down for those washes, right? If your truck is going up a hill, you don't want it to get caught on a ball. The other thing is if you're camber, right? You're this way, your truck is in a different direction. If you don't have this, what you're doing is you're gonna put torque somewhere. It's either gonna be in the ball or you're gonna put torque in the frame of the trailer, and you're gonna get a lot of flex. This is supposed to eliminate the flex. You have to have that. It comes with a CrossFit option. Not really. So you can work out if you wanted to, but these chains are massive. The trailer is actually only rated for 6,100 pounds, but these chains right here are rated for 7,700 pounds. It's like, and everything's been tested. MDC is obsessed with being certified, tested, everything they go through. They put these things through the ringer. The actual chassis comes with a lifetime warranty. They've delivered over 40,000 units into the Outback and the Australian market. The owners told me that not a single chassis has ever failed on them, which is pretty incredible. And then of course you have your Anderson plug connection. So this allows you to charge your batteries a lot more efficiently, puts a lot more power into your battery bank. This is a handbrake, so when you get to camp, you can just pull that up. They put all the grading on the bolts. This is an 8.8 grade. When they mark it, that means they've torqued it to the proper spec. This is like the issue, is because I've seen this with a lot of imports. These companies that will build in China, but they don't actually oversee the manufacturer, or they're not exclusive in that manufacturer. Those are the areas where they'll cheap out. They'll put on bolts that you don't know what the rating is. Hopefully they torque them properly. A lot of times they don't, and they put in a lot of knockoff stuff too. Not MDC. MDC is always teaming up with genuine parts. The hub system, the Mega Hub, super proud of this system. It's not a tapered hub like most spindles will taper. It goes across it's the same size all the way out, and then it has a dual Timken bearing system. So it's super robust, and that's what they want when you're hitting washboards in the Outback. They want you to not have a breakdown or lose a wheel or blow a hub, or that's a nightmare. That's the worst thing that can happen. Coming over here, I got to show you this. This is one of my favorite features on these doors. This thing is an aluminum door right here. This is, I call this the kangaroo proof door, or in the US, whatever you want to, bear proof. It might not be bear proof, but that is metal, really strong. You can actually lock this door, so you can leave the screen, like you can open this up, leave the string, you put the dogs in there, you can lock it up and go for a hike. Nobody can open the trailer. It also has a triple latching system. So like right here, so if I engage the door, you'll see that it will latch here and latch here. Now, a lot of people don't realize this. You know, I've been off-roading with trailers for almost going on a decade, and some of the American trailers where they only have one latch, when the trailer's just rocking back and there's always some sort of flex, I've seen the doors pop open. And I'm like, dang it, what's going on? And I go and shut it, and I start driving, and it's like cambering and pops open again. So then I'm like, put your deadbolt in, right? So you don't want it to pop out. This right here, that's the Australians, right? They think these things through. So come on inside. I'll show this off to you. This really is ideal for a couple. This is a queen size bed, and it's a standard residential, 80 inches long, so you can put any type of mattress in here. So if you have a preference of mattress, the mattresses are pretty nice. They have like a pillow top. That's what comes from the factory, but sometimes people are very particular. You can see they have this nice leather vinyl material, all diamond stitched back there. You have reading lights up here, and these are all dimmable, so if you press and hold, you can dim them down. Lots of outlets where you can plug things in. You also have a charging pad down here, so you can put your cell phone on it. This table does remove completely out of here, and you can go and stick it in the outside storage. Some people will opt for like a folding table, but this thing has a lot of maneuverability, right? You can kind of move it out of the way and put it wherever you want it, and have some space to kind of walk around. Lots of storage. Look at this. We come in here. This is your hanging storage. There's a mirror also right here, which it drives me crazy when you get into a trailer or a camper and there's no mirror. It's like sometimes, I mean, I'm not that vain, but I don't know. My wife wants to see herself put her makeup on or something. You got some nice storage down there, water. Now, one of the things about this company came into the US a few years ago. At first, they tried doing direct to consumer. And in the US, usually it's easier to work through dealer network, right? Because we're so big. In Australia, it's a small strip of, where everybody lives. So they teamed up with us, ROA Off-Road, and the very first thing, I actually went camping with the owner, like the founder of the company. We went out, I probably camped with him over 40 days in the US, Moab, southern Utah, all over the place, Grand Canyon, in the snow. And I tell him, hey man, we got to make these trailers more for Americans. We got to make them more Four Seasons. And they started doing that. They changed the furnace system to a ducted heating. So now you have duct work working throughout. So you have these ducts coming through Truma down here. But you also, another thing is the Australians, and it doesn't matter who it is. Most of the Australians don't understand cold weather like the US does. And so they'll put their plumbing outside. They'll put their tanks on the exterior. The US, we put them inside because they will freeze. So what they've done is they've moved the water lines above the floor in these newest models. So if you're looking at the newer MDCs, they're way more capable for cold weather. And it's just cool that they're listening to that and actually implementing it into their design. Of course, we got lots of storage up here as well. I don't know how long you want the store to go on for, but we got some good storage over here. Once again, this system is really cool. This is your one core. This is a Renogy system. Also have like a leveling. You can see your camber side. It says your right side is too low, so you go drive it up on a block. But this gives you really down to the detail of how many hours you have left. Also, another thing is a lot of trailers they're all 12-volt systems. Generally, you're like, something goes out, your lights go out. What is it? You go and grab the tweezers, pull out the little fuse, and you check it, and you put it just like a car. This right here, these are breakers. So they don't have like a 12-volt fuse like you would see in a car. So if something goes out, right, your stereo's not working, your light's not working, this is gonna just pop. You'll go back here and push it back in. So it's just like little things like that. I'm like, why does not like all American manufacturers do stuff like that? That's definitely something that you see in Australia more than anything else. Now, of course, coming in here, you have a bathroom. This is a wet bath. So it's all a combination, shower, toilet, and that's your cassette. And of course you have some storage. You do have some fans in here as well, and a nice little window. So this model, the XT12, they do have an older model, and it doesn't have an inside kitchen. This is a brand new edition, which has that better Four Seasons capability. It's not a Four Seasons trailer, but it has better cold weather capability with the plumbing above the floor. And they've also added a kitchen in here. So you have your sink. Of course, everything's hot and cold. You have your stove. This is one of the best stoves I've ever cooked on. A really popular stove in the overlanding space is Dometic. And I actually think Dometic is rubbish. This guy right here is, I think it's 9,800 BTUs. And the Dometic's big burner is like 5,400 or 58. Like, you can double check me on that, but it's under 6,000. And I know that it's because these are 6,400 and they're more. So the small ones put out more BTU than the big Dometic. So you can actually cook some steak, which is what they do in Australia. You can actually use this to cook steak. And then just lots of storage, right? You have pretty good sized drawers. And everything is locking. So these latches, they actually are twist latch. So you twist them. So if I go like that, it actually won't open unless I twist it. I always tell people, to be a true off-road trailer, you have to have locking latches, you have to have independent suspension or good suspension, ideally independent, and an articulating hitch. And that's what all of our trailers do. We don't usually carry them at our stores unless they have those things, because that's what we consider off-road and off-grid. The battery system on this trailer, I think I mentioned briefly, it is a 400 amp hour lithium battery. It's made by Renogy. It's the Rego system. It's a new system that they released just in the last year. Comes with a 3,000 watt inverter. It will run the air conditioner off grid, which is really cool. You just don't see that in a lot of trailers. But let's turn on some of these lights too. Under cabinet lights, overhead, and then can lights. Just a lot of attention to detail. Oh, one last thing. I got to show you one more thing. Check this out. These, like the attention to detail, how they'll like caulk these lines in here. You don't see that in anything. And that's like, yeah, it's good for dirt intrusion, but it's also like good to hold things together. Like the trailer is just gonna be held up much longer with that extra. I mean, everything does have screws, but it's also like that caulk is just gonna be an extra. Plus it looks good. It's like a nice finished product, and you don't see that in a lot of trailers. But there you have it. This is the MDC USA. It's the XT12HR, brought to you by ROA Off-Road. Our website's rvsofamerica.com if you want to go check it out. We have a store in South Carolina, Arizona, Colorado. Utah is our main headquarters. We also have a YouTube channel, ROA Off-Road. We do tons of videos, tons of tours. We actually take these things. I almost tipped one of these off, tipped one over, hit a big boulder and almost tipped one over down by Moab. So go check out that stuff. It's crazy. But if you're not subscribed to this channel, you gotta click subscribe, and thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day.
Hi, I'm Ricky with Atlas Outdoors, and I'm here to show you the trailers that we've got here today. So we have the Teton X that you know us for. This is our tried and true flagship model. The base is about 3,000 pounds, and when you add options, you can get up to about 3,600 pounds. So you've always known us for a heavy duty trailer that it's built like a tank. It has the 2x5 steel chassis, air suspension, and of course 6'8" of standing room inside. So that has been always the one that you've known and loved, but we now have a new model, the AppalchianX, and that one is a very similar concept. We just had a lot of people requesting a trailer that was a little bit lighter so that they could tow it with the lighter vehicles like a Jeep or a Bronco, things like that. What we've done with this one, we've moved the walls inside the wheel wells. The base comes in about 2,500 pounds, and then this one here has a lot of the options and it's still at 2,900 pounds. So it's a lot lighter. And another thing that you can get from this trailer is with the walls inside the wheel wells, it's a little narrower. So on the tighter trails, the idea with the Appalachian name is that on the East Coast, there's a lot of tighter trails with the trees hanging over, and you'll slide through those trails a lot nicer and a lot easier. Similar concept between the two. You still have 6'8" standing room and air suspension, the steel chassis. But let me just show you around this new one so we can show you the little more detail details of this one, and we'll see how it looks from there. So at the front of the trailer, we've got the Cruisemaster DO35 hitch, and this is the articulating hitch, and you can get off-road with that, and that just helps you stay locked in while you're off-road, and that's been kind of the gold standard for the hitches at the front. You see the 2x5 steel chassis that will take a beating, and it'll last for a lifetime. So that's why we go with that. Of course, it's powder coated and sealed. We've got the parking brake option on this one, so you can lock it in place without having to worry about wheel chocks, which is really nice. And then of course the big dry box on the front. This is all storage, and so this is an excellent place to store all the things that you need, all the gear that you have. All of that can be dropped right inside here. Then we've got the port if you need an air line to air up your tires, or to air up paddle boards, or just to blow the dust off things. You've got that right at that easy access right there. And of course the heavy duty arc jockey wheel that's really nice to have at the front. It actually lets you move the trailer around a little bit with that. Especially with this lighter trailer, it is nice to be able to move it around. And then we've got the molly panel here if you want to add molly panels like this. Kind of funny with the AppalchianX, when in the shop we call it the AppX, and we just keep shortening it, and now it's the AX. And so we call it the Axe sometimes, so we put an Axe on the front. But then we'll move around to the kitchen, and right here the slide pulls out here so that you have your fridge. This is a 75 liter. This is an IceCo. We also have a Dometic. We like the IceCo because you can open it from both sides. The slide just pulls out, and then we have another 24-inch table that slides out from underneath that. Of course, you've got the support legs there too, so that gives you a little bit of extra prep area, or maybe just something to, when you're pulling stuff out of the fridge, you can set it right here before you move it over to the kitchen in the back. So the kitchen in the back, this is just another slide, and it just pulls right out the back, and then you can set your food here to start your prep. And then you have a Camp Chef Mountaineer stove. This is 20,000 BTU burners on here, and it's got plenty of space, so we've actually put up to 3 pots on here. Just have one warming in the middle, and the nice thing is that, like, even at altitude they're going to do a good job, and that's kind of what we were looking for, is a stove that was going to work really well everywhere. And then you've got your drawer underneath. You can put all your accessories in here. We can kit it out for you, or you can just use what you already have. If you've gathered things over the years, you can just put that all right in here. And then of course we have the Dometic sink that's hooked up to our hot water system, so that you can have cold and hot water right at the faucet there, and it can actually recirculate. You'll see that on the water all the way around. It's a recirculating option with the Truma AquaGo Comfort Plus water heater. That'll let you have hot water at the tap all the time if you prefer. Then in the back, this is a new option that we have for this year on both of our models, and this is a big storage box on the back, and this has been awesome. And our customers have loved this. The old and the new all want this box. We have people bringing trailers back to get this added, and we also have people adding it to their new builds. So the idea is you have a 110 volt outlet inside, so you can actually, you have this on a slide here. This just pops out like that, so you can have this slide out. Regardless of what you have on there, that's really nice. You can also put like a coffee maker or a microwave here, and then leave it plugged in right here, which is really nice as well. You can put your pots and pans. You can kind of set this up however you want it. These shelves can move up and down, so you can kind of set it the way you want it. And there's a light inside, and then you can use this as a table, and then it closes up and seals as the door as well. Super cool option for the back if you want the extra storage. And then of course the full-size spare over here, a receiver hitch if you have a bike rack for lighter bikes like mountain bikes. And then we have recovery points underneath, so that's always nice to be able to have that extra option if you need it, if you get into a tight spot. While we're talking about underneath, there's the Nomad air suspension, and I mentioned that at the top too. The air suspension is an amazing option to have, and we put it on all of our trailers. This is just the standard suspension that we offer. And so what you can do is you have a nice soft ride for the trailer. It takes really good care of the trailer, and it also, so you can tighten it up when you're on the highway. You can make it a little softer off-road, and you can use it to level at camp. So when you get to camp, and if you're a little off camber where you decided that you want your trailer to be, you can just lower one side, or you can raise the other. You can do that all individually, left and right. And it's very quick and easy to do. So that's super nice option to have on these trailers. trailers. Coming around this other side, we have the shower. We have the single room shower room here. So this is the 23.0 option. We're also looking at different options. So if you have a brand that you prefer, we always like to work with you on that. The thing we like to do for customers, they're buying a new trailer like this that's kind of a dream trailer idea, and so we like to make it exactly the way you want it. So if you have things that you want tweaked just a little bit, you see you love this trailer but you want this one little thing changed, we're happy to do that for you. So just make sure to let us know that when you're doing your build, and we'd be happy to do that for you. But that about covers the outside. I guess there's the solar panels on top. You can get up to 380 watts of solar up there. You can put air conditioning on the roof. You can also put a roof rack up there. So that kind of covers that. But let's take a look inside to see how it looks for the layout when you're inside the trailer. So now we are inside the trailer, and I will just give you a quick walk around of how it looks inside. So of course you can see, like I said before, the 6'8" of standing room. That makes it incredible to when you wake up in the morning, when you're getting dressed, or when you're going to bed at night. Even when you have the bed out, you still have this room where you can stand up in here, and that just changes everything. So you're not crawling in and out of your bed when you've got your bed set up. That's the nice thing. You walk up through the door, you have your standing room here, and then to the front we have storage here. So we have storage cabinets. We've had people ask if we can remove these. If you prefer these out, you can definitely do that, but we like to make them standard just to give you some storage inside. It is a smaller trailer, so storage, one of those things that's you'll need, and so to have this here is really nice. We love how deep they are. They're 24 inches deep, so you can get a ton of, you can get full-size bags in here, and then you have shelves as well. So you can actually fit a lot of stuff in there. It's really nice to have this on the front. You have a little molly panel here if you want. You can tie things to it. We tie chairs to it. Behind me here you can see our cabinet. So this is the 2-drawer cabinet here, and you can switch this out and make it so there's a hidden toilet here instead, and so that you'd lose the drawers and then have doors on the front, and then you'd have your toilet hidden inside. So that's a really nice option if you want to have the toilet inside, but otherwise you can just have this here. The other nice thing is that you have your sitting room here. Even when the bed's set up, you can sit here, get your shoes on, and then that's really nice. And then like we have in the Teton X, we have the lagoon table here for a dinette, and then of course this drops down right down below it, and then you can have that as be the support for your bed. And then the bed is a tri-fold mattress, so it's about 55 inches wide, 76 inches long. And that is like I said, it's a tri-fold, and it's about 6 inches thick, and it's memory foam on one side and then regular foam on the other. So you can kind of dial in which way you prefer to sleep, and that will lay out across the whole area here and come out to about here. And so then you have a nice bed once you're ready to go to sleep. The other nice thing I will point out in here is that you do not need the roof up for any of this. So if you're just getting late and you just want to go to sleep, you don't even have to raise the roof. You can just literally just park, climb inside, go to bed. So it is very functional and versatile in a lot of different situations, which we really love. And then we've got a shelf on the back too for some storage. And then you can't see it, but there are some charge ports back there for your phones and whatever else that you would like to get plugged in. We have a 110 volt outlet. We have 200 amp hours of battery in this one. The standard is 100, and we generally go to 300 or even 600. They're Victron lithium batteries, so plenty of options for more power. And then it has a 2000 watt inverter in here, so you have the one, like I said, you have the AC and the DC power in here all the way through. So there's 30 gallons of water in underneath here. The water system is all enclosed inside the trailer. As long as your furnace is on, that'll keep it all warm even in cold weather. So it's really nice to be able to use it all times of the year. That about covers the inside. If you have any questions, you can always reach out and find us on our check us out on our website, or reach out to us directly, and we'd be happy to help you with whatever we can help you with. So reach out to us, Atlas Outdoors, and the website is atlasoutdoorsusa.com.
Hey guys, I'm Fareed with Exodus Rigs. We're here at the Overland Expo. I'm going to be walking you through the K-Pack. So all three vehicles that you see here are the same. That's what it looks like when it's 100% garaged. That's what it looks like when it's popped up. Within 3.5 minutes, you could click a screen, the whole thing's just going to go up and do everything on its own. Let's walk through. So over here, you'll see the front cage. You got a lot of storage over here. You got access to your propane. It's a nice retractable A-frame that you can see over there. That's what you need to get garaged, right? The whole trailer is garageable. Walking through the exterior, you'll find your entryway into the K-Packs. Over here is into the dual access kitchen, so you'll see some dual accessible compartments. Basically what that means is anybody's cooking inside the indoor kitchenette, you can access some of the same compartments as somebody is cooking to the outdoor kitchen. Speaking of which, here's the outdoor kitchen. It's a nice little tactile space to cook, nice in the scenery, has everything you need. We also have air suspension with about 11.5 inches of suspension travel. So what that means is that on the freeway it can get super low, aerodynamic, get the most amount of range efficiency. And then once you get to the nice little trails and get a little bit off-road, you can pop the air suspension up and do everything that you need to do. Up top, we have about over a kilowatt of solar power, over 400 amp hours of battery life, and then a 3,000 watt inverter as well. Back here, you'll see what I like to call the hardcore stuff. You've got a man cave with some accessible air, outlets, some super long doors for so much storage, a spare tire, which the cover can actually turn into a table, believe it or not. Over here is a nice little long compartment with some rifles, fishing rods, a nice lockable compartment over here that's accessible from the inside as well. And you know, everything that you need to do to get some nice and tactile stuff over here. Over here, you'll see the dual access bar. So this flap opens up successfully from the inside. You got a nice little cooler here with a drain where you can put some drinks. Then a nice little wine drawer right here as well. Down here, you got a whole lot of storage, which is also accessible from the inside. So you can stock some bedding, stock some of the stuff that you need to go on a trip, and then you can access it from the inside. So the theme of that is that when the trailers collapse inside your garage, you could stock it from the outside, find everything inside later. Over here, we have the dual access closet. So what that means is that this whole compartment starts its life right here. Inside your garage, you pull it out, stock some stuff from over here, and then when you're done, you just ram it inside and then find all your stuff later. This is a nice entryway into the bathroom. Not a lot of RVs have this whatsoever. It's a nice way to, you know, keep your privacy while people come, use your bathroom, people camping around in tents around you. They don't have to invade your privacy whatsoever. Let's move to the interior. All right, right now we're inside the interior of the K-Pack. So here you'll see a nice little workspace, right? This is kind of your entryway. So you have access to your microwave right here, as well as a drawer fridge. The reason we do that is that it doesn't block the access from both the outside or the inside. Back behind me is the bathroom. We'll go over that later. Over here is a nice little indoor kitchenette, like I mentioned, outside. So you have some of those pass-through compartments here as well. So you can access some of the plates, some of the pots, the spices, whatever, while you're cooking some smaller meals in here. Inclement weather, just breakfast in the morning. You don't always have to go outside to use the outdoor kitchen. Here is a nice little use space dinette where about 6 to 8 adults can lounge over here, right? And this is 100% modular, so this turns into a residential king-size bed, which you guys will see in the other trailer. But yeah, just sitting around here, here's the access to the bar I told you about earlier. I have a screen right behind me as well to access some of the, you know, anything from tanks, lights, temperature, the climate, the air suspension, leveling, the roof mechanism, all that kind of stuff at access through that integrated system. Over there you have a nice slidable TV that comes out. It's just overall a really nice space to be. Here's the access to the closet that I was telling you about earlier. So look at how nice the space is utilized. Drawer comes all the way out. Everything's super engineered for us, right? You have nice little magazine shelves over here, storage everywhere, right? So a whole lot of stuff. Now here I'm going to be showing you the bathroom. So I love this bathroom. You have some nice marine teak wood flooring, nice countertops, a vanity, aluminum everywhere so that you see, you know, quality and elegance throughout everything that you touch and feel in the K-Packs. So this is a semi-wet dry bath. So what that means is put a curtain around yourself, you take a shower, the water goes right through your feet. You don't have to get anything else wet, so it's not a wet bath, right? Here's a dry flush toilet. So what that means is no black tank, which is amazing, right? No dirty, grimy tasks at the end of your trip that you hate. It's just, you know, you get 20 flushes per bag, you flush, you throw the bag out like a trash bag. Over here you have your shower, right? You can connect it up there, pull the curtain around yourself like I said earlier, and the water kind of just goes through your feet. Now let's go into the other trailer where we can show you the sleeping mode. All right, so stepping into the trailer, it's the same as the other one. Now we're just showing the sleeping mode. The modularity in the K-Packs is really incredible. Out back, you'll see that the king-size bed is actually 1 inch wider than a residential king-size bed. No RV King or anything like that, right? You actually get some real space. All right, and then over here at the front of the trailer, you'll see that the workspace that we saw in the other trailer is now a bunk bed setup. So you just fold that wall down and push it down, push this bottom wall down. You have a twin up top and then a double on the bottom. What that means is that you can actually sleep 5 in the K-Packs, which in a garageable trailer is unheard of, right? Thank you guys so much for joining us on the walkthrough of the K-Packs. I'm kind of ending it here at the towing mode as if we're kind of leaving the trip, right? This is what it looks like going back into your garage, super low. height clearance. It's really awesome that this whole thing that you guys saw earlier can finally go into your garage. You don't have to keep storing it at outdoor facilities where, you know, it just rots and collects dust, pay so much money for it. It stays accessible in your garage. You can take it whenever you want. And yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Check us out at exodusrigs.com where you can order it now. You'll just get it in a few months.
Hey, it's Steve again from Imperial Outdoors, and now I get to show you my favorite trailer. This is our flagship X195. It is a full 4-season trailer. It has full Cruisemaster suspension, air ride adjustable. You can level the trailer with your key fob. We've been able to increase the solar capacity on here to 1240 watts, 1080 amp hours of lithium. Again, full 4-season trailer. Let me take you inside and show you some of the benefits here. So a similar floor plan to what you saw on the Sport 195. This one has a little more bells and whistles. We got a much fancier kitchen sink area with a mini sink inside of it to help you conserve water. We do have 60 gallons of fresh water on this trailer, as well as 60-gallon gray water tanks. They are enclosed in metal. They have ducted heat as well as heat pads, and they're insulated. So pretty much any condition, they will be safe as long as you have the heat running. Hardwood cabinets again. This dinette does make into a bed, the dual pane acrylic windows. This is a fancier fridge and freezer, stainless steel, isotherm. It's a European design, also good to work at a 45-degree angle. We use the Truma Combi for a furnace, so it runs your hot water as well as your heat, and it'll run off propane, and it'll run off 12 volt or 110. The shower is very similar to the Sport in the sense that you've got a full walk-in shower, and of course we use the dry flush toilet, so there's no black tank on our coach. Extra storage here, and you can see the 360 amp hour lithium batteries, as well as the 2000 watt inverter and converter. We have 3 MPPT control units to manage the massive solar on this coach. This is the flagship. This will go anywhere you want it. You can tow it, and it'll keep you warm, dry, or cool. And we're Imperial Outdoors, and you can find us on the website at imperialoutdoors.com. We have dealer network around the country that'll meet your needs.
Hi, I'm Ian from Rome Resilient Expedition Vehicles. We make expedition trailers and expedition vehicles, 6x6 and 4x4, and that's our EXP series that's launching soon. We have expedition trailers in a bunk version and a non-bunk version. This is a bunk version. All right, so this is our safari hatch right here. So you can see over the bed, you have this same safari hatch on the actual non-bunk version as well. It gives the great feel of the bed. You have the upholstery. You have 2 closets in here, one on this side, one on that side. You have magnetic lights. So when you put that up, it turns the light on. 2 windows, your blinds. Here you got mesh. All the cabinets are expedition locks. They have little struts on them. So what they do is they make sure they don't open. You have a latch that keeps it locked. So when you're off-road, you're not having stuff all over the place. You have a blind here for the door. More magnetic lights here. More storage here. This is a bunk version. So this is where our electronics sits. This electronics is really cool. We have a main computer that runs the whole camper. Everything is Victron. We use Victron inverter, Victron solar charger, Victron everything, but we use our own software. We don't use Victron software that we use to be able to do more with the energy needs of the camper than you normally would be able to do. This is our mini split AC. It runs on 24 volts, and it will run on your standard battery bank for 10 hours. It's a 400 amp hour standard bank. And this sitting dining area is much bigger on the non-bunk version because we have bunks here. Basically, that makes it a little bit deeper for the space here to be able to cook. You can have a microwave or you can have oven. You have your bridge induction, and I want to turn on the light here for the bunk. This is our bunk trim, and this bunk trim basically has 2 bunks, and they're what we call airline style bunks. They're very special. The kids love them because you can have an actual staircase to go up, and they enjoy it very much. My kids love it. And this is your full fridge. This fridge is full. Basically what happens is you've got the freezer and you've got the full fridge, and you've got your freezer up here. 24 volt DC fridge, very efficient, pulls about half an amp once it's cooled down. This is your bathroom area, and you have full shower. and you have full shower. So you got a dehumidifier in the shower as well. So that takes care of all the humidity and all the steam and everything. Tanks under the bed. These tanks are, we don't use plastic tanks, we use stainless steel tanks with baffles. And you have two tanks, as I mentioned outside. You have got the buffer tank and the main tank. This is your Truma diesel. We use the marine pumps. You have 3 pumps on board. One is a redundancy pump if one were to fail. You can switch the tanks right there. You can have a buffer tank or a main tank to be able to do that. This is your Truma controls in here, and you got all your electrical stuff. And in here is your sink. It's a full sink, deep sink. It's very helpful if you've got dishes that you don't want to wash when you're leaving campsite. You've got drinking water and you've got fresh water there, and the chopping board on top of it. There's a little bit of storage here on the bunk that you can use as well. There's storage down here. There's a spice rack in here where you can put your spices. There's some more storage here. We have our UV filtration and the 10 micron filter that sits behind, so your water is always filtered via the UV. You have also some space under here for some stuff, which is an empty space right here that you could use. That's a little bit of the inside here that I wanted to talk about. This trailer sits on a 700L steel chassis, and it's got an articulating hitch in the front, which is a DO45. We've got the front cap, which is designed so that there is aerodynamics, but also you can do a 90-degree turn with your truck so that you're not hitting your taillights on the sides here. So this is our front storage box where you have plenty of storage. So it's got 3 doors, one on this side, and there's a top opening here, which basically allows you to lift that up. So you can put snowboards, you can put skis, and it also opens on this side. You have a 18-gallon diesel tank, which is in here. It's part of the structure as well of the box. It allows you to carry 18 gallons of diesel, which you can, of course, plumb to be able to also use it for your truck. If you had a diesel truck, it's got 2 ports at the bottom. You have a fill port for the diesel on the driver's side here, where you can fill your diesel here. And on this side, we've got more storage. This is our storage area. And we also have your electrical panel here. You got your gauge for your air system, and you've got your ARB compressor for your air system that runs the whole suspension, and your air check. You've got 2 water tanks. One is the buffer tank, one is the main tank, 16 gallons, 63 gallons. What it allows you to do is basically have shorter trips, so 16 gallons, longer trips, 63, or you can do both. This one is your Truma Combi, which heats the water and the air. Now this particular one has a liner armor paint. Normally we don't have armor paint. This is an optional paint that you can have, which is a protective paint. It's scratch proof, so it doesn't scratch. All of our windows are aluminum, aircraft grade aluminum, dual pane glass. We don't use any acrylic or plastic. All the trims are part of the extrusion that hold the panels together. You have your 30 amp here. You have your drinking water, which is separate. These are the independent suspension arms that we got for each wheel, and each arm is capable of carrying 4,000 pounds of load. Air springs are 10,000 pound each. We do 16-inch wheels or 17-inch. This is a 17-inch wheel. We do oil hubs, so you never have to grease them and stuff. We don't use grease, we use oil. So just like your transmission, all you have to do is check your oil level through the sight glass, and that's it. And once you've filled the oil, you're okay to use it for as long as there's oil in there. We also do optional rock guards. These allow you to slide if you had got it yourself in a situation where you normally would need to go over a rock or something. Now here, this is a bunk version, so it's got 2 windows on each bunk. And on a non-bunk version, this part is closed and there's a bathroom window up there. This part here is what we call the signature cap, and this signature mold at the back, it's a 1-piece mold that we have, and the spare tire is indented into the back of the mold here. And you have your air conditioner condenser and compressor up there. You have storage in this area right here, where you can put different kinds of mole panels and put your gear, axes, whatever you would like. There's a winch at the bottom. This is winch control. You have 24 volt power and 12 volt power here, so you can either connect more solar panels or get power for any of your accessories from the back. You have a ladder that deploys like that. It stows like this, and then when you want to use it, it deploys. You can put it down. It's got an extra piece here, so if you press these two, you can pull that out because sometimes you're high, so you want to have more room. So there's a few more steps here. So we'll fold it back in here. It goes in there. The roof is all solar, so you can have 3 panels come standard. You can have 4. That makes the whole entire roof solar, 1800 watts. You can have the Starlink accessory. We have the Starlink connections always made for you to be able to do that. This particular one has a motor rack, and this motor rack basically carries your bike, whether it's dirt bike or an adventure bike like this, that you can take with you without having to take space in your truck. This will carry it just fine. And on this side, we have our window on the bunk version, but if you didn't have a bunk version, you had a non-bunk, you have a big, what we call a safari hatch, which is a window in a window, which we will see up front once we get on this side. The door is, again, aircraft grade aluminum. It's made so strong that you actually have to toss it to be able to close it. It's not a cheap door. It's very much built with insulation, so it can maintain the temperature inside. The staircase is deployable in this manner. You just press the button to be able to use it. On this side, you have 2 pockets here. For this acts as a door handle as well, and there's a little window for you to be able to peek if you need to do that. Dual latches on the door. They allow you to basically latch the door properly, and they're metal. So you have grease hinges because this is an expedition trailer that will normally go off beaten path. Over time, you might want to grease these because that's why we put them there, so that they help to keep the smooth operation of the door. Here we have an outdoor kitchen that basically folds in on both sides and just stows in there. You have hot water and cold water here. You have your induction that comes standard, and there's a door behind. There's a cable where you can use to connect to power. You have your chopping board, and you also have a little space here if you had to wash vegetables or whatever you wanted to wash in there. And there's a drain that comes out of here, and basically you put it in a bucket and are able to use the sink. There are 2 tubes that you connect to get hot and cold water. Basically they're pushed to connect here, and then they go in here to be able to have hot and cold water ready for you. Now if you come on this side, I'm going to close this hatch here. That's our signature safari hatch. So that hatch has a window built in. It's designed to have a feel of a much bigger space, and if it wasn't that like good weather or it was cold, you could just open the window. That same hatch is on that side on a non-bunk version, so you have 2 safari hatches. If you look at our suspension, it's a 11,000 pound spring, and we use the nitrogen charged shock. So you've got independent swing arms that have 11 inches of travel, so you can actually be able to basically go over obstacles that are quite tall. If you had a flat and you were in a position where you can't change the tire, basically take the wheel off, take the air out of that spring, and it will lift the arm, and you can run the trailer on 3 wheels without having to change the tire at that time. Just put it in your truck bed and just go. You can run the trailer on 2 wheels as long as they're on one on each side, right? So you could do that. We do have guards for our, these swing arms have grease zerks here that you use to grease. You don't need to grease them maybe once a year because they are sealed inside, so the grease stays there. If you don't go off-road too much, maybe 2 years. Our rock guards here on this side, and of course in the front. When you go up on the roof, you have full solar on this one. You have a 30,000 pound winch at the back that you can use. If you use a snatch block, you can pull both the truck and the trailer out. I do want to show you our special control panel that we have. that runs the whole system. Our app runs the whole camper. So this is our app, and you have your weather, you got your temperature sensors, you got your panel for switching everything on and off. Our breaker panel, which is something that I talked about, we don't have traditional breakers. You can actually see how much power is being pulled from each circuit in your camper. Then you have an energy flow chart that tells you about how much solar is being pulled in real time, your battery status, your battery state of charge, how many volts are coming in. It's all real time, right? You can see the numbers are going up and down based on your AC consumption. This is your PV data. This is why we don't use the Victron software, because this is much more elaborated data that will help you. Now, if you were to go and see the history of your solar, how much solar you had for the last month or so, you could go to pick whatever pattern in terms of weekly, monthly, and it will give you that data. This is a very cool thing to have. The other thing we got here is the tank float volume. Most of the times you get tank percentage, you have 10% water, but we actually give you the amount of gallons you have to be able to see how much water you actually have in the tanks. You get your vehicle data here, where you'll be able to see all your data in terms of how much pressure you have to run, how much when cold pressure when you're not fully loaded. You get your GVWR, so you're making sure that you're not going over. We do a pre-check list, so before you leave camp or leave home, you're able to do all these checks, and you can add your own checks to be able to make sure you've got everything covered before you leave, so you're not forgetting anything. This is a very cool. I mean, our customers, we call them enthusiasts, because that's they love to have an adventure, and they really appreciate the checklist, because it's like you just tick off those things to be able to make sure that you're really safe and secure when you're hooking up. I want to show some of the construction of our trailer. This is our roof and floor. It's 3.4 inches thick, and this is our wall. The wall has a 1.5 millimeter aluminum on the outside to protect the outside. We don't do fiberglass. This is important because it's easy to clean. It's more sturdy than the fiberglass. This panel is so dense that it has its own structural density that you don't really need any real structure in the panel itself. These are our extrusions that you see on the outside. We've machined them. They're different kinds depending on where you are, what corner. This is an industry leading standard that we built. This extrusion basically makes sure that we are able to hold the walls together. Now, the panel basically goes in here, and it sits in there, and that's how the camper is built. Another panel goes here. Now, there's a thermal brake. That's probably the most advanced you will see in the industry. We use polyamide. We machined the polyamide to make sure that we can have this break in between to be able to make sure that the heat from the outside or the cold doesn't travel inside. We don't use slap tape or things like that. It's actually engineered to make sure that heat doesn't travel from the outside to the inside. Same for the cold. And you can see there's a vacuum in the middle, and that allows you to have some level of expansion mechanism, but also create a vacuum, another level of thermal efficiency. That's why our mini split and our heating is so efficient, because we don't allow the heat to escape or the cold to escape from the inside of the cabin or allow the external heat to come in either. And that basically is one of the most fundamental parts of this expedition trailer. Now, you get upholstery that you can choose the colors. Now, this is very interesting because we wanted to make sure, you do spill water, you do spill, something happens, and I want to show it here where you can see it. So if I drop water on here, you'll see it doesn't just absorb in there, it stays there like mercury, right? And the whole goal is it's not going to wet, it's not going to stain, so you can make sure that's water. We made sure that it was water resistant material. We don't have dealerships, we are factory direct. You go to roamresilient.com and you're able to look at all the specs. There's an order button, you can order. When you order, you configure your trailer, like what upholstery you want, what appliances you want, what accessories you want, like the motor rack, or you want an extra panel, you wanted you wanted twice the battery bank, right? You could do all that stuff online, and once you order, you put a $15,000 deposit, and we assign you a production slot. Once you have a production slot, after that, we start manufacturing it. And after 30 days of the initial deposit, we ask you to deposit the 50% of the full invoice that you have, and then 30 to 45 days before delivery, you pay the rest of the balance. The turnaround time on these trailers, because we literally hand build them, is 3 to 4 months.
Matt from Sky RV here, come for a little walkthrough and I'll show you our 14-foot hybrid. So up front we got the DO35 hitch, so full off-road articulating hitch. Up front we got the front toolbox, which has a couple of jerry can holders in there. You've also got your diesel for the heating, so full diesel heating system. Gas bottles for the Weber barbecue, which predominantly sits here, so you can slide your Weber out. We've got 300 litres, I don't know what that is in gallons, sorry, of fresh water. So you've got your little outdoor sink. You've got your drying rack when you finish washing up, straight on here. Nice big 95 litre Dometic fridge. All your adjustments for all of your water tanks, your lighting, and your suspension. So full air suspension, independent off-road suspension. You can level it up side to side at a push of a button. Nice outdoor kitchen is the way we've set it up. So you've got your double induction cooktop, all your drawers, and a nice big stainless bench to cook on. You got outdoor power. It's got a 600 amps of lithium. We got 1320 watts of solar on the roof, so a full off-grid setup. You can plug in your 240 appliances there using your inverter. As we sneak around the back, you pick up your dual wheels on the back. Of course, you got all your stabilizer legs, and it is one button push, up you go on a hydraulic actuator. If you come with me, we'll sneak inside. So a couple little steps to get inside. We've got another Dometic upright fridge, nice little internal kitchen with your sink, all your power outlets, light buttons, everything's right there on your switch panel. We've got a full toilet shower combo. It's a composting toilet, which is nice and handy after those long days on the road. You pick up seating for 4 people, and then we've got a king-size bed up here, guys, with your fans, your little reading lights, and plenty of ventilation throughout the whole van. So there you go, guys, that's the Sky RV. Hope you liked the little walkthrough. We've got everything from your 9-foot through to your 21-foot, full family, full-size vans. Check us out. If you did want to have a look at that, guys, and find out more information, jump over to skyrv.com and have a look. Cheers.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Trevor with Lifestyle Campers. Right behind me, we have the new Icon E4 external kitchen. This is a brand new model to the US, taking the E4 that we introduced last year, making it bigger and better with an external kitchen. Come check this thing out. So everything, a couple doors open up, and we have our dual burner induction cooktop, sink, lots of storage up top. And then moving over, we have even more storage. Got a long drawer, big cutlery drawer, more cubbies down below, more upper, and then even more pantry space in the back. And a little secret, on this pantry, there's a pass-through, so you keep your snacks back there, so that way you can grab something in the middle of the night. We also have a 40-liter pull-out drawer fridge. This thing is great. The Aussies like to say this is their beer fridge. It's just enough for one person in Australia. Amount of beer, that is, yeah. And then we have more storage in here. This one is upfitted with a Starlink connection. Then over here, we have a pull-out. We can put a little barbecue on this guy. And we also have the controls for our Cruise Master airbag suspension. So it makes it really easy to raise, lower, and level when you get into camp. Coming around to the front, we have propane storage and a small firebox area. The propane is really only needed for your BBQ or a fire pit. Other than that, we have our diesel tank right here that runs a Truma Combi, runs hot water and the furnace for inside. A lot more storage in here. It's actually cramped with everything. And here we have the Truma Combi, so super easy to get to if you ever need to work on it. More storage here, shore power connection, water fill port, and this is the back for the cassette toilet. I'll show you that inside. All of our trailers come with a full-size spare tire, and this one's optioned out with a firebox. Great for firewood, also great for throwing wet clothes from the ocean, lakes, whatever, and because it's got a open bottom, so it'll drain out and have things dry. All right, let's take a look on the inside. The E4 line is got a lot more interior space than any of our other trailers. All of our trailers have a queen size bed. This one, it's a little bit wider, so you're able to walk around the side. On a standard E4, you can actually walk around both sides, but with the external kitchen, it kind of takes up a little bit of that space. The other nice thing is you have tons of storage still, sink, 175 liter fridge freezer on the inside that's still easy accessed by the outside, but the interior ensuite is very big. So it has cassette toilet and shower all right there. Really nice. So we have a few different variations for the dinette. So the dinette standard can drop down and turn into a bunk, and then we can get a top bunk option on it. Or if you have a lot of kids, we can delete the dinette and put 3 bunk beds right here. So got room for the whole family. Standard, we have a rooftop AC, and for power, we have 700 watts of solar on the roof. We have a 3,000 watt inverter and 400 amp hours of lithium batteries, standard, which can be upgraded as well. 64 gallons of fresh water capacity in this thing, so lots of water. So what gives us our massive amount, I am 6 foot tall and it's about another 2 feet above here, is our hybrid capabilities. So it is a hard-sided trailer, but pops up with a soft canvas that allows us to have this extra height in there. It's extremely easy. There's 4 travel latches, 2 front, 2 rear. Undo those, single push button, electric actuators put up the roof. By the time the roof up, you have the rest of the camp set up. The Aussies like to say, if you're not having a beer within 5 minutes after rolling into camp, you're doing it wrong. And if you want to find any more information on this trailer or any of our lineup, check us out on lifestylecampers.com.au.
Hello, my name is Ken Harrelson. I'm here representing Kube Series Travel Trailers and Camper at the Arizona Flagstaff Show. So this one right here I'm going to introduce you has the front basket on it. It's 19 feet in length. It's running 1140 watts of solar with a 600 amp lithium battery and a 2000 watt inverter. Basically, I'm running all this display in my TVs off of this unit this weekend, and I still have a full charge inside. This right here is our manual version. So we make 2 versions of this trailer. One of them has power actuators. The other one is a manual actuator with struts that you can easily do with one person. So follow me. We use a 2-fold acrylic glass window. So it's a double pane basically for layman's terms, okay? Very, very efficient for heat and cold, okay? Not gonna lose that battle. Outside, we provide an outside shower, as most manufacturers do. It's sitting on a 5,000 pound axle with 2 off-road tires. This particular build is built with a 6-inch frame. So we offer 2, a 4-inch frame and a 6-inch frame. We go as far as Truma or standard Dometic water heaters. Everything you see, we build it, we cut it ourselves with our CNC machine. It cuts it perfect every time. So we have a basket that we've added on this particular model for that extra gear that you're always going to need, you know, need to have that space. Comes with 2 7-gallon bottles, and I'm a big fan of this. This is an articulating hitch. Of course, you're only seeing half of it right now because the other half's on the vehicle. But what's that mean? So a lot of people have been really fond of weight distribution hitches. This eliminates that, and it's much easier to use, and in my opinion, it tracks really well. So for instance, if you're going down a hill really steep and you hit the brakes, a single axle trailer will want to wiggle. This eliminates that. And it gives you a lot of peace of mind, not to mention it's a low profile, so we're not catching any wind. Let me take you inside. All right, inside, come on in. So, right here, you have a walk-in shower with a potable, flushable toilet. It has a 2.5-gallon black tank on the outside like you'll see in a lot of manufacturers. comes with a queen size bed and a little extra space on each side for tucking away those midnight snacks that you're not supposed to have. So right now, as I said, we're running a camper and a trailer with the AC on both of those units. The AC's on in this unit. I could start the microwave and I'm still at 90%. Okay, and it's a cloudy day outside if you want to show them that. It's not clear skies. We have a 2-burner stove cooktop with a sink right here. Cooked some steaks on that last night, might be a little messy. 12-volt refrigerator. You can leave that on all the time because of our solar package. You don't have to worry about keeping your food getting warm or anything like that. On this side right here, this is a nice little feature. Everybody's always got a friend or a couple rugrats, it seems like, right? So we have a slide out, simple tray right here, right? And now you have an extra full-size sleeper right there. Over here, one more thing. I get this from the ladies a little bit. They're like, Kenny, where's all the storage at? You know, I don't have a lot of storage here. Well, we thought of them too, of course. So right here I have 2 drawers. They're almost 3 feet deep and they're rated at 150 pounds. So you got that cast iron skillet that you got to take camping with you. So if you want to get any more information about us, and we'd love you to follow us, go to kubeseries.com. You'll find all your answers there.
Hi, this is Steve from Imperial Outdoors. We're at the Overland Expo in Flagstaff, Arizona, and this is our new sport model. It is the 195. We are making a sport 145 as well as a 195. All of our trailers are good to 40 below zero. This trailer has independent coil-over Cruise Master suspension. We have a 240 amps of lithium and 200 watts of solar in here. We use an exoskeleton to build this trailer, so there's not any structural beams in the walls to reduce or increase the cold and heat transfer. That's what really helps us be good at 40 below zero. We use the Cruise Master 360 degree 035 hitch on here, so you're plenty safe. If you flip the trailer, your tow vehicle hopefully won't flip. I'd like to show you some of the stuff on the inside. So this is a 26-foot trailer. It has a box of about 20 feet long. This dinette area does make into a bed. We have a full refrigerator and freezer in this coach. One of the biggest advantages I like to think is this 12-volt AC. It'll run for days based on the sunshine. And typically you get sun every 3 or 4 days, you'll be able to stay charged. We have a complete walk-in shower. Got a little hideaway shower door separate from the bathroom. All of our cabinets are wooden cabinet drawers, wooden cabinets, 4-way adjustable metal hinges, metal latches. Our windows are acrylic, dual pane acrylic with nitrogen charged gas, so they're very good in the cold weather. They offer the screen / reflector / daylight, full countertop, all hardwood cabinets. Again, there's a lot of cooking space in this coach. Here's where your extra storage is. Our lithium is stored here, and easily you can add more lithium to this coach and solar if you wanted to. But we're able to keep the price down by reducing the amount of solar and lithium. And that's the Imperial Outdoors S195. And we have a dealer network. Our website is imperialoutdoors.com, but we have a dealer network around the country that'll bring you to the closest dealer.
Hey folks, welcome to Kimberly Campers USA. Behind me here I've got the Kimberly Kruiser, which is actually sort of like a very, very different shaped caravan or your tow trailer. It's our single axle version. We do actually have sort of like one size bigger, which is our tandem axle T3, which is probably one of our big flagship products. This particular unit we build very, very differently to what a lot of other manufacturers do, in terms of we have a nose cone and a tail cone, and that's a single mold. We then build a composite body around that, and it's all held together with the internal furniture and also sort of like some extruded panels up in the top. We're running independent trailing arm suspension, we're running hot tip galvanized chassis, and on this particular unit, so like in the big caravan range, we actually run what we call a hybrid chassis. So we run hot tip galvanized steel runners or rails forward and back with the A-frame, and then we build an alloy or aluminum subframe within that. That's all jointed together with a gasket in between it to reduce any risk of rusting. We're running the 2 water tanks on board, so another 70 litre plus 110 litre, plus grey water tanks as well, so that you take everything out with you on our leave no trace policy. Large outside kitchen here, so this particular one has the double wok burner, which basically sort of in everything we do, you're able to get a real big meal going at the same time. We're running a large stainless steel kitchen here, your diesel powered hot water system, so you don't have to be plugged into power to run all of your amenities. Spices throughout, a bit of storage up in the back there, but a whole lot of space inside. So what we'll do is we'll head on inside and I'll show you some of that. So welcome to the internal of the Kimberly Kruiser S3. So this is our large single axle cruiser. In the single axle here we still get the island bed, which is a large queen size bed, but where we're different to our other products is we've got a very large internal ensuite. So you get the full stand-up shower, which is essentially sort of like based off the first class showers in some of the bigger airlines at the moment. You're running diesel powered hot water system into that there. We've got a vanity sink plus a large mirror, overhead cupboards inside, and then various options of storage underneath your workbench. So here we've got 2 storage drawers, or alternatively we can put a washing machine in there, or we can put an extra freezer. Once again, as per like the rest of our range, we're running internal composting toilets or wrap-on toilets, or the waterless toilets is what they're called nowadays. So once again, we've got what we call this chase lounge, which goes around our teardrop table. You can sit up to 3 or 4 or up to 4 adults in here, no problem at all. We've got storage up underneath the foot of the chase here, which I'll take you through some of that right now. So there's storage for bits of knickknacks inside there. Once again, we're running the thermoformed acrylic bench tops, induction cooking, internal stainless sink, which actually has purified water coming out of the cold tap. We run microwaves if customers want that there. Coffee machines will fit as well. Huge storage in our overhead cupboards. They go pretty deep and they're all alloy, so that once again there's no wood in the construction at all. It's only in our timber drawer fronts. 130 litre fridge freezer in this particular unit here will get people with enough space for up to probably about 2 to 3 weeks worth of camping. So once you move into the S-Class up the front end of the van, because we've got that nose cone shape, we're actually able to get a lot of space, internal space for the size trailer that it is. So this trailer runs around about the 21 foot when you're looking at your classic caravan sizing, but the internal space is that of a 23 footer. So on your queen size bed here, we've got storage up underneath that there, which is in the form of 2 pull-out drawers and then a bit of storage either side of that. You've got 2 bedside tables. We've got storage up through the sides of the bed there for hanging space. And then really luckily on this unit here, we've then got storage up in the front. So there's a deep pocket up in the front there, and that's because that nose cone shape, and then a big linen cupboard inside there as well. Once again, so like the whole of the roof on this unit is actually covered in solar panels. So we run up to 600 watts of solar on these guys here. We're running vents up above the bed, and then aircon towards the rear. So what that does is just regulates the temperature of the inside of the van really well, in terms of us trying to sort of like get everybody super comfortable and camping in 4 seasons. So one thing to keep an eye out for from the Kimberly Campers range is we've developed the Kimberly Cruise Wagon, which is our take in the motorhome market. So it's once again off-road, off-grid on the Mercedes Sprinter Class B platform. The Kimberly Cruise Wagon we've released in Australia this year. It's been an absolutely huge success and we can't wait to bring it to America, and we're hoping that'll be here by the end of the year. So if you watch this space, once again, it's also like the Kimberly DNA in what we do: large open windows, no wood in the construction, all the composite construction that we use, with a whole lot of our own accessories. But definitely keep in touch with us. We're at www.kimberlycampersusa.com, and that's campers with a K, so KIMBERLEY KAMPERS.com.
What's up everyone, Shane here with ROA Off-Road. We're at the Flagstaff Overland Expo in Arizona, going through some cool trailers. So I'm gonna give you a quick walk around. We'll go around the whole trailer and then go inside. This is an MDC USA, and it's the XT19. This is the largest trailer that they build right now, and it's perfect for a couple, so definitely gonna wanna check this out. Over here, we have some little storage area. This is actually a mount for a television. There's some outlets in there. So if you are a tailgater person, I know we're at an Overland show, but I like football, and so when I'm out in the middle of nowhere, I still wanna watch the game. I throw out the Starlink and enjoy the game. Right here we have a prep tray area. This is where you can, get your dinner ready or throw out your buns, whatever you want. Another cool thing I want to point out is outlets everywhere. These units have some incredible solar and battery systems, which I'll talk to you about in just a bit. And they give you the ability to run all your equipment off-grid. So these are truly off-grid capable trailers. This is an Australian company. They've been around almost 20 years and they've put over 40,000 units into the Outback. So they really know what they're doing. They've really dialed in so many little details over the years. They're the second largest actual trailer company in all of Australia. So let me show you off some of the stuff they do here. This is the slide out kitchen. I love these kitchens. They're just so well designed. You have a cutlery spot right here, and then that flips down, and then you have some extra storage right there as well. These are the Thetford stovetops. This is a British company. Really, really cool company. A lot of BTU output, so you can cook steaks, huge meals. We've cooked like for 8 to 10 people on this stovetop morning, like huge pan or pot of eggs, you know, and they cook really fast. Almost 10,000 BTUs on this big one, and these ones are just over 6,000 BTUs. Drop this down. I love the attention to detail. Look at this, how they do this laser cut, MDC, USA. All of the little attention to detail. This is your wind tray, and you can see how they've locked it in with the little notch right there. And this pops up, goes out. I think when you're looking at off-road overland, you want just all the details that are going to make sure everything's held in really nicely in place. This drops down. You have little rubber grommets that, you know, will protect. I love this strap right here. This is going to hold this in place, so it's not going to be bouncing while you're off-roading. When you think about it, when this closes up, everything's just going to bounce all over the place and it's going to make a huge mess. So I'm going to put this in and show you how this works. You have your kitchen sink right here. This is hot and cold, and it's pre-plumbed, so it's just, you don't actually have to plug anything in. You just open it up, turn it on, and you're ready to start cooking. You could put, you know, food, dishes. This could be a dry rack, whatever you want to do with it. And then this comes up right here, but first pops up here, and then you have a little clip that holds that in place. And of course, everything straps down and is super secure. Another thing I want to point out over here on this side, this is a piano hinge, right? And over here you have a full-on piano hinge. Like piano hinges, if you just go do the research, you could just do a single hinge right there and there, and they're a couple dollars. Piano hinges are usually 5 times more expensive. You go to Home Depot, you're gonna spend $20, $30 for a piano hinge versus, you know, $2 or $1 each. You know, those are like the little details you might not notice at first glance, but they really do some cool stuff on MDC. So this right here locks the little locking mechanism. Of course, your bottle opener, and then that pulls out, gives you just a little bit more extra prep space. And then this right here is a leg post, and then you just close that up all the way in there, and then this actually locks in. And just look at the track on this. This is so thick. Look at the gauge of metal. This is almost 1/8 inch thick. You can kind of see better right here how thick this is. And then this locks in right here. Some people only do like a single lock or a double lock. This right here latches down, and this thing is never going to come out while you're driving. If you put that in, this thing is super secure. Of course, this is a storage compartment. Now you do have the ability to pull this out and put an additional refrigerator. This does have a fridge inside, which I'll show you in a bit, but this can fit a 95 liter dual zone, whatever type of brand you like, Snowmaster, Dometic, Iceco, but look how big that is. Otherwise, we can put something over this area to just make it into a storage compartment, and you can have extra gear. You have all of these pulls over here, and you have some canvas. And the reason why you have that is this trailer actually comes included with an entire annex room. So if you look down here, you see these little buttons, these clip on. And so you actually have a canvas wall that clips on here, and it drops down to the ground. And then there's a canvas floor that comes out, and it comes out to about the entire width of it's a little bit wider than the actual trailer itself, more than double your living space on the outside. So the whole kitchen and area can be all enclosed underneath, and you can strap it down. There's tie downs and stakes that comes with it. It just slides into, there's a track right here, over here, and it slides into here. And just allows for this entire extra living space on the outside. So let's come up over here and I'll show you some more storage area. So this is just a massive compartment. You can do whatever. I mean, if you can see, I'm reaching all the way down. Goes the whole length of my arm. And then these drop down. You can also put locks on these. This right here, you can actually lock that in. Another little detail too, I love how they've designed this with a gasket, but also how they've put this lip on this. So if it did rain, it comes down and it runs down the channel. That's what you would see in a car, automotive, but sometimes when you start looking at RVs, a lot of people get frustrated with water intrusion, and it's because of silly little designs like that, you know, goes into here and it leaks into the box. And you don't see that. There's just so much attention to detail with MDC. Now this does come with a 20-pounder propane tanks, but you can fit 30-pounders in here, so that's an option that we can do for you at one of our stores. Coming down here, you have these safety chains. These things are just unbelievably robust, overrated for the trailer. Everything on this trailer is just to the max. It's a galvanized chassis, and this chassis, they give it a lifetime warranty. The owner of MDC says that they've never had a failure on one of their chassis in Australia, and that's 40,000 units in the outback going through some pretty rugged, you know, abuse. Right here you have a jockey wheel. This is the ARC. This is a 750 series. The idea behind this is if you ever got into a situation where you're driving down a track and you came to a dead end and you couldn't quite turn around, you could actually drop this wheel down to a lower position, and this trailer, you could essentially recover it on this wheel. So you could hook up a winch or something and unhook your truck and move, and you could grab this trailer and pull it, turn it around without actually having the truck hooked up to it. And we've done this. I've actually done this. Got in the spot, it was snowy, and so I kept on sliding. My truck kept on sliding towards the edge of the road, and I couldn't get out, so I unhooked it, pulled around, dropped the wheel, and got a chain and just pulled the whole trailer, turned it around without even being hooked up to it. So it actually does work. Right here we have a spigot, so if you're hooking up, your hands get dirty, you can turn this on, wash your hands. Little detail that I like, I'm using that all the time. And then of course we have the DO35. This is a Cruisemaster articulating hitch, up and down, side to side. So this is for your camber, this is for your washes. And I always tell people, if you're off-roading and your truck is doing this and your trailer's still on flat ground, where's the tension gonna be? Is it in the frame? Is it in the ball? Like, you wanna be able to have the hitch move independent and have that ability to articulate and overcome all your obstacles. So coming over here, we have another storage compartment, and this is actual jerry can holders, so you can put extra gas or fuel. If you don't feel like you need that, you can remove this and we can just use it as a storage area as well. Coming back over to this side, we do have the other side of the pass-through. And look at this, we got a light. That may seem obvious, but you'd be surprised. You know, sometimes you just forget and you don't realize how much you want a light. Another thing that I want to point out is the Australians have a lot of issues with dust. And this sill, this door, there's a sill right here. You have another sill right here, and then you have another sill right here. And then this latch, they call this is a cam lock latch. So when you actually turn it, you'll watch it sucks in and then it pops out. So when you actually close this door, you can see it sucks in and seals really good. So they call that their triple seal. That's an MDC special, and they really love it. They're very proud of that. They say these are some of the most dust-proof trailers in Australia. We have lighting. Like if the light inside the compartment wasn't good enough, you have light right above the compartment, so you can be back here working on your stuff. Of course, we have our Truma AquaGo. That's an on-demand water heater. The way those work is you turn on the spigot inside the trailer or out on the outside kitchen. The moment it senses the pressure, it engages and starts giving you hot water. Now, this is one of the really cool things that I asked MDC to do. So they're originally an Australian manufacturer, and generally Australians, they don't deal with cold climate. And so if you look at some of these Australian designed trailers or Australian built trailers, they put the water inlets right on the exterior, right? You just fill it up right there. And I said, in America, you don't want to do that if you're trying to build something for colder weather or 4 seasons, because that is going to freeze. It's right on the exterior and your water's going right there. So I said, generally, really good high-end manufacturers. I used to sell $1 million motor coaches, so I would been in the space where very, very premium stuff was built, yachts and stuff like that. And I said, when you get into that really expensive stuff, they recess stuff inside They don't have it on the exterior exposed, right? So I said, what you gotta do is you gotta recess the stuff inside. And the engineer talked with the team, sent it to the production facility, and now here, these are all the new 2026 models coming out, and they have these wet bays where it's recessed, and right on the other side of this, you have heat. So on a really cold day, you can come in here and you can feel the heat radiating, so you're not gonna actually freeze. Now, another thing I wanna point out is we have an outside shower. This is hot and cold. You can open this up, and it comes equipped with a shower room, and it locks up into that tray, slides right in. You also have a light, so there's a clear opening spot in the canvas, so you can shower in the dark, which is kind of cool. And you can do the bug light or the white light, whichever you prefer. Now, I can't show you right now, but over here you do have a cassette toilet. That's just a cartridge that you pull out and you're able to dump anywhere. So it doesn't have a black tank, but we can also switch out the toilet. We do a lot of switch out on toilets. A lot of people like incinerators or lavios or composting toilets. When you're going off grid, to me, I always say toilets are like your favorite color. Everybody has an opinion and it's not the same. So that's something we do at ROA Off-Road. MDC doesn't do it. It comes the way it comes, and then we do some retro or modifications at our stores. Now coming down here, 4 wheels, independent suspension. You have 8 gas shocks. These gas shocks, they're called the Tough Tracks. This is a proprietary suspension system that MDC has built. And those gas shocks are about 40% larger than a standard gas shock that you're gonna see in most vehicles. They're very, very wide. And why that's so important is because in Australia, they hit a lot of washboards. So those wider gas shocks are gonna have more fluid in it. So that's gonna allow it so they don't overheat as fast as a standard gas shock. Coming into here, we have 12-inch brake hubs, and you also have a dual Timken bearing system. So most spindles are going to be tapered in, and you'll have a single bearing or you'll have a big one and a small one. So this actual spindle comes out at the same size all the way, and then it has a dual Timken bearing, and there's a genuine Timken bearings, which is really important. When you're dealing with off-road, you want a very robust suspension system. Load range E tires, these are mud terrains, and they're overrated for the trailer. And we've dealt with a lot of small manufacturers where, those are some of the areas they kind of get cheap on. They don't always think about all of those little details. And when you're broken down stranded on the side of the road because of blown hub axle or a blown tire, it's not fun. It ruins your whole entire trip. Over here you can see we have a light bar, and so 360-degree lighting all the way around the trailer. You'd be surprised how many manufacturers don't do that. They'll give you like a door light and that's it. But sometimes if you're off-roading on a dark trail, you turn that floodlight on in the front, that light bar, boom, it lights up the trail. And then when you get to camp, you need a backup. You want a backup light, right? You want to get to the side, you want to empty your cassette toilet, you want a side light. So the details matter, in my opinion. Let me show you one of my favorite things. This is their screen doors. I call this the kangaroo proof door. Right here, this is all metal and aluminum. Might be bear proof, might not be. But what's really cool is you can lock this. So if you wanted to go out for a hike and leave the dog inside, turn on a fan, they can get nice airflow, but you can actually keep it all locked and people can't come in. So this door is called a Trimark, and it's an Aussie Traveler. So it's an Australian door, and it actually has a latching system right here. And then you have another one in the center and another one up here. And that is a really cool system. Actually, a few years ago, took my parents' American-built trailer up into the mountains. And I wasn't even off-roading, but I was taking these windy, twisty turns. And one of their doors kept on flying open. This has happened to me multiple times over the years. The trailer is gonna flex a little bit. It always does. And so it just kept on flexing it enough to pop open. And so I'm like, I had to go and put the deadbolt in so it wouldn't pop open. The Australians have thought of those details. And so when you do this, if I pull on this, I can pull it. But if I lock it in, no longer pulls, right? There's no way this door is ever gonna open while you're off-roading. And then, of course, you lock it in right there. This has 2 latches. So this latching mechanism right here, if you come to this side, it comes, and this latches it all the way open. But there's an issue. If it's all the way open, you can't open this window. It's gonna hit the window. So what they did is they put a secondary latch right here so you can latch that and still open your window. Those are like lots of little details that you just don't see in manufacturers. They just overlook. There's a lot of oversight. One of the things that I love about this manufacturer is the owner. he uses the trailers. He goes out and camps. I've been camping over a month in Utah. He's come from Australia multiple times, and we've gone out in these trailers and camped for over a month in the wilderness off-grid together. So I know he's a user. Now coming into here, come check this out. This trailer is absolutely beautiful. Of course, the Australians, they have that European design. So you have the high gloss. There's a little bit of shine to this, the gray with the black accents. These are latches, locking latches. So you actually have to twist this latch. So it has a twist in here and it holds it in place. You also have soft close as well. And then it locks in. If you look at their previous year models, they were actually white. Everything was white. But look at this, even your switches are black. These turn on all your lights and they're all black. This is your awning controls. But then when you come up into your bed area, even your outlets are black. You know, people are like, what's the big deal? Go to Home Depot and go into the outlet aisle. Black outlets cost more than white outlets. And these are some of the things where I'm like, if you're mass producing a trailer, those are areas where you could see them saying, oh, let's just put the white one in. It's because when you do 1,000 of them and they're 20 cents cheaper, you save a lot of money, right? But it's just, to me, it's the theme, right? You go in with black handles, you're gonna go with black reading lights. These are also dimmable, so you can dim them down if your partner wants to go to sleep. Over down here, we also have charging pads, so you can throw that on and charge your cell phone. You also have the old USB and the new USB-C chargers, as well as a cigarette lighter. The reason why you do a cigarette lighter is CPAP machines. A lot of people that have those machines, they actually have adapters that go directly into this cigarette lighter, so that's why they thought that through. Of course, you have these Sirocco fans, which these have so much adjustment and maneuverability. You can just rotate that. You can the ceiling cool, you can get yourself cool, whatever you want to do. And they have timers. These almost take 0 amps. It's crazy how efficient these are. So if you don't want to run your air conditioner, which yes, you can run your air conditioner, which is pretty cool. But if you don't want to, you can turn these on and get some good airflow. This is a porthole up here. I remember years ago I was trying to find this. Another manufacturer we carried used these, and I was looking all over the RV industry trying to find this stupid porthole. Couldn't find it. And finally, I went to a yacht website and I found it. So that's what's really cool about the Australian industry. The US, like, they're kind of a hodgepodge of, like, they make it up and it's weird, it's their own thing. A lot of it's really cheap too. The Australian industry, they design a lot of their campers and trailers after the marine industry. The marine industry is known for being really high end and quality, and that's where you get like these fans, you get these portholes. It's just kind of fun because, like, you know, they're going and looking for the best components, the best quality. You have storage all the way around this thing, not crazy deep, but over here you do have a nice hanging area, and this drops way down low, so you can put some storage bins and kind of pack things nice and tight in there. Of course, you got your TV. This is a huge TV. No, it's not really. Kind of, and it's not smart either. It's kind of a dumb TV. So the cool thing, once again, ROA, we can upgrade your TV and we can put a smart TV in it. If you have a Genius TV of your choice, we can even put whatever you want in it. Some people like their TVs, like their Apple TV or whatever. So super deep drawers, everything locks. I think that's super important. And look how they carry the theme, black. You have even a black drain. It's funny, like, people are like, what's the big deal? But, like, those are just details that are really cool, and I like that the manufacturer thought about that. Right here, these windows, you have blackout shades, and these actually get really dark at night. Sometimes I've slept in them, and, like, in the morning I wake up, I'm like, what time is it outside? Because they really keep the sunlight out. Another cool thing about these windows are polycarbonate, which some people will, why not glass? I'm like, you got an off-road trailer. Do you really want glass? There's a few things. Glass is heavier. A rock shoots up and hits it, it's going to shatter. Polycarbonate is 200 times stronger than glass in the same diameter. So polycarbonate is going to be a lot stronger. This is a dual pane window as well, and it clips in like that. You can open it like that. It has 3 different settings, and it locks in right there. It also has a little air mode, so you can put it into this slot, and you can have some air coming in here, but it can still stay locked. Don't do that while you're driving, otherwise dust is coming in. You want to make sure you bring it all the way in. But the reason why you would want to do that is trailers are teeny little spaces that you're living in, and you're breathing, and the condensation, that keeps the condensation down. You turn on a fan and you get a good ventilation in this. This table right here will drop down, and it does turn into a bed, so you can sleep 3 people in this. The main bed is a queen size bed. So this is a fantastic couples trailer. There is some adjustability for this table. kind of move around. One thing I got to show you, this manufacturer just builds some of the best componentry, like attention to detail and quality that you just don't see on trailers. I already mentioned one of the things over here is, look at this, piano hinges. I already mentioned that to you, right? But look how they caulk the backside of this. This is where you get some, you know, spots where they kind of get cheap on you. But then you go open this up. This is the Rego Renogy 400 amp hour lithium battery. Thing is just beautiful. Open this up. Look how tidy this is. This is a mass-produced trailer. This company makes 3,000 units a year. Like, this type of attention to detail is like some crazy engineer that does it in his garage, you know, and spends hours and hours doing, you know, weeks and months building something like this. But this is coming straight from the manufacturer, which I'm just super happy how they put everything in here fused properly. And look how they put these brackets with the rubber grommets around them so the wire, you don't get chafing. And then you go down here, everything is just like, you have L brackets holding this boxed area in. They put everything in conduit into the plastic so it doesn't rub as much, and then they zip tie it, and then they put brackets on it. All of the wiring that goes into the walls and runs through the walls, it's in the corrugated plastic to protect it, and then they put rubber grommets around all of the wall studs so that they can't chafe and rub over time. So those are like that's stuff that I've seen in the manufacturing, right? You don't see it here, but it is details that's really important when you're dealing with something that's off-road. Now you have this massive battery right here, and then you have another one under here, and that's 800 amp hours of lithium. And look at this bracket. I just love this bracket, how they fitted this thing around, and it goes in and it fits perfectly. They just really do a good job. Above here, we have tons of storage, all of these compartments all the way across. And I love how they caulk everything. It just gives it a really nice finish. It holds things together better. And then coming over here, we have a oven, and then you have your stovetop. This is a Furrion. You turn it on, and then it's propane. That actually flips around like that. You have a hood vent to take the smoke out of the trailer, and also a light. And then over here we do have a microwave and a CD player from 1999. I don't know why. It's a stereo. It does do Bluetooth, so you can hook it up to your phone. You have your gauges right there, and then over here we have a lock that pulls this out, and then you have your refrigerator. And this is a 12-volt refrigerator, and also a freezer right there with a little drawer. If this is not enough, like I showed you outside, you have that additional space where you could put a 95-liter refrigerator. Coming up here, we have our command station or command center. This is the Renogy system that they're using. You can see we're at 100%. We're bringing in power, and it's fully charged. And all the lights are on. It's overcast, and this thing is 100% charged. And we've had the lights on all day yesterday, all day today, and it's 100% charged. The reason is because it has 1,240 watts of solar on the roof. And these are all on, it's a glass elevated panel. So the stick-on flat panels are the most inefficient panels because they overheat. They get really hot. They just bake. So you want your solar elevated so you can get airflow underneath it. And those are things that you'll see some small manufacturers that don't know what they're doing sticking stuff on it, and that's not what you want. You want the most efficient way to do it. Coming over here, we have our ability to turn on everything, all your systems here. You also have tank heaters, so if you get into cold climates, this is not your water heater. This is for your water tanks to heat them up. There's a pad that keeps them warm from freezing. And then over here you have your fuses. So most campers, you'll see like those automotive fuses like you would see in a car. You got to pull out your tweezers or needle nose pliers to pull out. Right here, if you have something that's not working, you come up and you just push it. It's a breaker. So coming back into here, we have our cassette toilet, and then tons and tons of storage. You have some storage under here. That's like a dirty clothes hamper. That's what I'd use it for. And then of course we have drawers all the way down. You know, you can get an idea of all these storage. And then over here we have more storage. And I just want to point something out. This is the back side of the shower. See this? So if you ever needed to access your shower, if something ever broke or you just needed to replace something, you can access it all right here. It's all cut in, easy to access. And you might be like, obviously, but we've dealt with manufacturers where the shower starts leaking because the valve behind the shower broke and there's no way to access it. It's literally built behind the wall. Because a lot of manufacturers, they don't build trailers with this idea of really repairing. It's kind of like you use it and then it, like you throw it in the landfill. Most trailers in America, that's kind of where they end up. Within 10 years, I think it's 10 to 15 years, most trailers end up in a landfill, which is crazy. But that's usually because the way it's designed. They don't make it so you can repair it. We got black hooks, we got black everything in here. Look at this. This is a porcelain sink. I'm just like, I love how they just carry the theme throughout the entire trailer. This is another thing. I'm like always like getting into trailers. I'm like, where do you hang my towels? Like, it's like, why did they not think this through? You have another one right here where you can actually hang up like more towels or drape them over. And then coming into here, this shower is massive. Like, I'm standing against it and I can't even reach the other side. I don't know if you can, like, I cannot touch the other side of the shower and I'm standing against it, which is crazy. Like, my arm's all the way out. Once again, black, keeping with the theme, you know, super nice and luxurious. You have all these, you have another, you know, bathing suits, throw them up there, or just sweaty clothes you need to dry out. Of course, you have a fan in here, and this fan will actually bring air in or exhaust it out if you're showering in it. And one other little detail, fully molded fiberglass. This whole thing, there are no seams here or along the walls. I've seen where some manufacturer will put the fiberglass together, or they'll just do panels and then they caulk it. This is a moving vehicle. This is a house on wheels, right? So everything is going to be moving, shifting, and over time, those caulk seams will actually tear, and then it becomes a maintenance issue, and then you're resealing it, and then eventually you leak and get mold and rot and stuff like that. This fully molded fiberglass shower, that's really important. It costs more money than doing it the other ways, but for the owner, it's a big deal, long term. There you have it. Hopefully you enjoyed this tour. This is the MDC. It's an Australian company. Now in the US, just for the last few years, we are their dealer at ROA Off-Road. We are in South Carolina, Colorado, Arizona, and Utah is our main headquarters. If you want to come see these, we have them on the ground where you can actually come and touch them, feel them. They're beautiful trailers. If you're really interested in something that's like really high-end, well-built, this is definitely a manufacturer you want to look at. So thanks for watching. Oh, check us out. We're on rvsofamerica.com, ROA Off-Road. We also have a YouTube channel, and I do like full-on tours with the actual owner. We've taken these things into Moab. I almost tipped one over. Crazy type of stuff that we do. We're like, yeah, it's kind of madness. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and have a wonderful day.
Hi guys, my name is Paul. I'm with Opus Camper here at Overland West show in Flagstaff, Arizona. I'm going to take you through our OP15 2025 model because there's a lot of upgrades there, a lot to talk about. I'm going to start with some of the stuff that maybe people that know us are pretty familiar with, and that is our outside kitchen because it's a huge draw for us. 4-ring burner cooker, full family meals inside of this thing. The whole kitchen is made out of stainless steel. You've got your cutlery drawer here, and then there's further storage inside this cabinet here, and a little bit of extra storage inside here as well. All of the water, hot and cold, is directly plumbed to the kitchen, and then we've got this exterior lighting here as well, so that when you're cooking your meals, you've got a lot of exterior lighting. Chopping board here as well for further prep space, and another prep deck here as well. So there's a really big kitchen environment. You can cook 4 meals inside of this thing. And then some extra pantry storage here with this nice lever branded Opus out on the front here. We put the little accessories inside it, but you can put, you know, pots, pans, dishes, cans of food, all of that stuff inside of this pantry storage here. And then this is the light for the exterior lighting, so the light switch for the exterior lighting on the OP15 right here. Finally, it's a small little thing, but what we've done is we've got these switchable lights underneath here, and you can change it from a yellowy amber color. Really good if there's a lot of insects in the area. They are not drawn to this particular lighting. And then you've got your bright white lighting as well. And then you've got your dish rack here that folds down, so when you're ready to pack down and go away, to head out, this folds down, and then the whole unit just slides straight in. Takes about a minute to set up. Again, stainless steel, very heavy duty kitchen, one of the main sales features on the OP15. This is the 2025 build, so one thing I just like to highlight is the 2025 builds have got a lot of upgrades and extras. You can identify a 2025 build versus like a 24, 23 model with the new decals and the slightly darker grey matte color. So if you see a 15 with this orange stripe, you know it's a 25 build. So if you're in the market and you're looking and you want all the extras, you want all the new features, that's the way to go. Just quickly before we move forwards on the unit, one of the things that 25 builds now has, you've got exterior jerry can holders here, and then the exterior pop-out king bed section has now got gas struts fitted all the way through to make setup of the unit significantly easier. So gas struts on the exterior for the bed fold out, and also these jerry cans as well. And then just whilst we're here, I'm currently underneath the fold out 8-foot Fiamma. It's the F45S model. Excellent. It's really windy here, and as you can tell, it's currently holding down really quite nicely. So excellent awning. And then more towards the front, this is a 75-litre fridge freezer Isoco unit that we're supplying with the camper. You can upgrade this to the 95 if you want to. This is plenty big. And then it also comes fitted with a reverse camera on the new 25 builds as well. And then even further towards the tongue, you've got a gas locker for two 20-pound tanks of propane, standard 7-pin hookup. Again, with the OP15 and all Opus models, we have the handbrake, the ARC 750, the Cruise Master DO35 articulating hitch here. And then we pre-wire the tongue all the way through to the battery storage compartment with an Anderson connector. So any customers that want to go with the optional DC-DC charging, we've done all the hard work for you. So it's already pre-wired. And then finally, we've got a faucet connection right up front here. So if you've got fishing equipment or pets or whatever, and you want to rinse them down before they go inside the camper, easy access via a standard garden hose connection right there. Some of the other upgrades inside of the OP15 25 model are the roof actually now electronically actuates, so it's push button actuated as opposed to the old manually actuated roof. I'll demonstrate that in a little bit. We've also increased the solar from 400 watts to 600 watts, and we've increased the lithium battery bank to 405 amps of lithium batteries built inside this unit, and that's on the 2025 models. So 405 amps of lithium, 600 watts of solar. We've got a Renogy MPPT charger, and we've now also got a 2000 watt Victron inverter charger built in as standard inside of this unit. Finally, there's some other nice features. We've upgraded the door, so there's now a blackout blind here as well. And then all of the windows have got blackout blinds through the unit as well. We've gone with Kenda tires, so anybody nervous about some of the wheels and tires that have been used in some of the models that have been imported, we've now gone with branded tires as well. And water tank heater pads. So we insulate the plumbing. We also install heater pads for all of the water tanks, so you can take this in colder weather. Not quite fall season yet, but you can definitely extend camping out into those kind of earlier winter months. I'm going to take us inside now and run through some of the features on the inside of the unit. So we're now inside the OP15, the 2025 model. Still got the Dometic AC, but we're using the FreshJet now, so it's a little bit quieter, it's a little bit more efficient. We're using a Bluetooth speaker, so a JBL Bluetooth speaker instead of the standard stereo system, so you can have the music inside, the music outside. It's a little bit more portable. We've still got the Opus bamboo furniture on the interior, so it's solid bamboo, very high quality, very hard wearing. It also lasts the test of time, so if it scratches or if it nicks, it's much easier to recondition. That keeps the value of the product much higher. What we've got now, though, is these lockable cabinets. So previously we used the ball bearing cabinets. We're now using these lockable storage cabinets, so when you're going into some more of the extreme off-road terrain, this obviously makes sure that all your personal possessions are nicely tucked away. And then, as I mentioned before, we have a actuated roof now, so we're using branded Linac actuators, one of the best on the market or so, push button operated, so it will automatically lift and lower your roof, even easier setup time. We're still using the Truma Combi for your hot water and for your forced air heat. One of the nice things about the 25 models is we've now insulated all of these back panels, so you get much less heat bleed outside of the rear of the unit. As you can already see, we've got the 12-volt fans here, and all of the plug sockets on the interior of the unit are connected to the Victron inverter. And there's also USB connectors inside of the bed lighting as well. So we've upgraded the bed lighting. Finally, a nice new touch, a nice new addition is the bedside cabinetry. Previously we had cushions here, now in the 25 models we've got these bedside cabinets, again made out of bamboo, so very hard wearing, very durable. And finally I'm going to take us into the bathroom here. We've reorientated the bathroom so you get a little bit more shower space, and then also you can now hang the shower onto this top connector here as well for a full headroom shower. The OP15, as standard, comes with a 63 gallons of freshwater capacity, 17 gallons of grey tank capacity, and 10 gallons of black tank capacity. We have standard US park fittings, so freshwater, the black tank and the grey tank flushes use standard Valterra valves and 30 amp connections for the mains power. And then you can run the entire unit off of the mains batteries, with the exception of the air conditioner that still requires a generator. Recommend like a 2200 watt Honda generator to operate the air conditioner. And then just towards the front of the camper here, 2 bunks. So there's now more usable space in this top bunk because we don't have the manual lifting mechanism here. And then this is a full-size twin on the bottom here, so even adults can sleep inside of that bunk. So that was the full walkthrough on the 2025 version of the OP15 hybrid caravan. If you want to find us, you can find us at www.opuscamper.us. You can call us on 925-215-7315, and we've got dealers across the United States and some in Canada as well. So the product is readily available anytime you're ready. Thank you very much.
Hey all, Ryan again with Mammoth Overland. This is our TL, basically double tall aluminum cabin trailer, off-road capable, timbered suspension. This is the super size of our standard HV trailers, built for families, or you got a couple dogs, a couple kids, want to sleep in here. It's got 2 bunks, king size bed like normal with us, that's standard for us. Kitchen. What's cool about this is it's got the dual tandem suspension. That is not because of the weight, that's for flotation, keep you above on the sand so you're not digging in and getting stuck. Like I said, we're an aircraft company, so we specialize in the lightweight aluminum construction. We got to do that with the planes, no different for the trailers. This thing weighs 3,200 pounds empty, which is deceivingly low for how big it is. It's got a shower on the inside. We're getting a lot of wind here at Flagstaff, so we're closing this up. Cassette toilet. So you have your privacy inside. Our whole philosophy is camp outside, sleep inside. Got 2 bunks for the kids. This one comes with a TV with our Genesis, which is a little bit, a flavor of overlanding. That it's fun when you're in the rain. You gotta still enjoy yourself. Air conditioning is an option. It's about 6'4" on the inside. On the side here is where the cooking happens. So we have pass-through dry storage here. This folds up and closes when you're driving. Standard fridge, sink, and stove on the side. With this one, it's 400 amp hour standard with an 800 amp hour option. Solar ready with all our trailers. 270 awning by 23.0. And again, you can go anywhere your rig can go. We're super excited about this. A lot of people are liking this thing. You can stand on the roof and stargaze. It's a structural roof, and put a rooftop tent on top of that too. So that's us, Mammoth Overland.
What's up everyone? Shane here with ROA Off-Road. We're at the Overland Flagstaff Expo, and I'm showing off this trailer. He wanted me to kind of give you guys a walk around, a tour. This is a Pause trailer is what it's called. That's the manufacturer. It's actually owned by Forest River. So this is a Pause. The model is a 22.4 or a Pause X. These guys came out about 3 years ago. They started R&D'ing. They saw the overland market and they said, hey, there's an opportunity. Let's build some of the best built trailers in America by Americans. And because a lot of the overland off-road stuff you see is coming from Australia. You got imports coming from China as well, but they wanted to make something in America. So this is it. So let me walk you around this thing. Lots of features. We could make this into an hour-long video, but I'm gonna go quick. So right here we have a little trash can holder, which is cool. You always need a place to put your trash. Coming over here, we have a drop-down tray, kind of a prep area, eating area. It comes with these stools as well. We actually have 2, and these can also go inside into another bench area. Lots and lots of power. I'll talk about the power system in a second. Crazy amount of power, and they really give you lots of outlets to plug things in. So coming over here, we have a outdoor kitchen area. It's super windy, sorry. We got a food grade cutting board. We have a outside fridge or freezer, so you can set the temp at whatever you want. This is a little sink that slides in. You just pop it up and it will go in like that. And then you have hot and cold water right there. That's gonna connect into the sink. Of course, you got a little storage spot. as well as a grill for cooking. You gotta be, there's an indoor outdoor kitchen. Over here we have a full pass-through storage all the way from side to side. And then we have like just lots of conveniences. When you get to camp, you can just push this to stabilize the trailer. I'll show you the suspension in a little bit. The suspension is amazing. It's an independent air ride suspension. But coming over here, of course, we got our Max Tracks right here. This is our propane compartment area. These are 30 pounders. You can do a 40 pounder. Some people might think that's overkill, but it's not, because this thing has an onboard generator and it runs off of the propane. So that gives you the ability to really extend your ability to stay off grid. Massive amount of solar and battery, and I'll get to that in a second. Little storage area up here as well. Now, something unique in a lot of off-road trailers, you see the articulating hitches. A lot of them are coming out of Australia. Right here, this is an American-made articulating hitch, designed and built by Moride. And as you can see, it articulates up and down in every direction. So you have like that 360 degrees range of motion. When you get on the highway, you can lock it in, and then it tows just like a standard hitch in the US. Of course, you have electric jack, tongue jacks, so you can hook up to the truck really easily. Coming over here, we have the other side of the pass-through storage, some cushions in here. This is all heated. So this system comes equipped with a dual furnace system and awesome heating. It is a 4 Seasons trailer. The whole underbelly is enclosed with actually aluminum plating, so you're not going to be, you're going to have some protection. The generators over there as well. Working your way back over here, all the appliances are Truma. So this is your water heater. This is the Truma AquaGo. It's on demand. So when you turn the water on, it senses the pressure, starts heating up the water. The cool thing about this that's unique, it's not just on demand, because a lot of overland trailers will have an on-demand water heater. But the way they work is when you turn it on, you wait for a few seconds to get it to the tap, because it has to sense the pressure. So you're gonna waste a lot of water, that cold water, until it starts getting warm. This actually has a recirculating pump built into it. So when you turn on the water heater, it actually starts circulating the water all the way up to the spigot and then back to here. So it actually starts getting warm. So when you turn on the tap, it's instantly hot right at the tap and on demand. So there's no tank, you don't have to wait for it. It's like waits a few seconds, and then you have instant on demand. All this area right here, this is where you would plug in your extra solar panels. This unit comes equipped with briefcase panels if you option that. This entire frame system, this is a huck riveted frame. It's all aluminum, so there's no steel in the frame, which is really important. You're not gonna have issues with corrosion, rust. A lot of frames you're gonna see in the US are just gonna be steel, powder coated. The thing is, if you're off-roading and you scrape the powder coating off of it, it's gonna start rusting. That's not gonna be an issue with aluminum. A huck riveted system is what you see on airplanes, semi-trucks. You'll see it in suspension bridges, because huck rivets allows for a little bit of movement and vibration, and that's the idea. When you're doing welds, if the guy had a bad day, he's gonna do a bad weld. So there's definitely less human error when you're doing huck riveted. Everything goes through a laser cut CNC machine, and it's precise every single time. Victron originated in the yachting industry, right? So when you're out in the middle of the ocean, you gotta have a reliable system. A lot of little shops will start with these cheaper options, and then when they fail, they'll upgrade to Victron. So there you have it. So this is your 3,000 watt inverter, this is your charger, and also this will allow you to invert your batteries and turn it into regular shore power like at your house, and you can run the air conditioner and all your outlets off grid completely. These are your solar charge controllers. So you have 2 solar charge controllers. One goes to the roof. There's 1,000 watts of solar on the roof. This goes to your briefcase, and if you option to get this system, you'll have additional 800 watts of solar in briefcase. So that's 1,800 watts, which is an insane amount of watts for a trailer in this industry. Over here you have a DC to DC charger, and this is the newest Victron 50 amp. So this allows you to be able to charge your batteries and put up to 50 amps per hour while driving. Now you might say, why do you need to put in 50 amps? Because this thing has 1,080 amps of lithium, battle-born lithium. So it's a huge battery bank. Now you can option it anywhere from 270 all the way up to 1,080. That will allow you to run the air conditioner off grid for a long time. It's not indefinitely, it's all depending on the environment, solar input, but you also have up to 1,800 watts of solar. So on a nice sunny day, you can actually be running your air conditioner and be gaining power at the same time if it's in good conditions. And this right here is your Serbo GX. And this is a system that allows you to, it's the brains of this, it monitors everything. It also gives us the ability to remote into the camper from ROA. We're actually out in Utah, our headquarters. We have stores in South Carolina, Utah, Arizona, Colorado, but our headquarters, we have a guy that literally can get on, read all your stuff, knows what's happening, and he can help you, he can support you. It's a tech support system that we do for our customers. But come down here, you gotta check out this suspension. This suspension is incredible. This is made in America. A lot of independent suspensions you're seeing are coming from overseas. This one is made by Moride. It's 8 Bilstein gas shocks with wire limiting chains, or wire, it's a limiting chain, I guess, wire. So you can't overextend this thing. It will go up 12 inches of travel. So the only other trailer in all of the world that I'm aware of that does 12 inches of travel is Brooder, the Australian icon, right? And also the Pause, made in America, which is pretty cool. That's such a neat thing that Pause is doing. This backside is pretty cool. We'll show you inside what it looks like. This is a deck. It's really incredible. So let's walk over to it. You can actually put cargo bikes, e-bikes, whatever you want in here. So you can see these are tie downs. You also have some tie downs over here. So this bench pulls completely out of the way. You can lift it up and it becomes an actual workbench. So if you needed to work on here, and you could bring that stool inside and make it into a computer space. There's also a table that mounts in here. It's not in here right now. We took it out for the show so people could easily walk to the deck. But there's a big table and it comes the whole length of this area. So you can easily fit 6 people. I mean, if you can imagine, you can put 6 adults at this table area and eat. And then you can drop it down and turn it into a bed. These cushions come out and they fill in this area and you have a queen size bed. So you can easily sleep 2 adults this way. Coming over here, you have your power system. Lots of power throughout this trailer. This right here, this is a solid surface. This is acrylic material, so it gives you that feeling of like a Korean granite material. Really nice. And you see this and it goes all the way up into the backsplash. I know we're at an Overland show and usually you're thinking rugged, crazy, utilitarian. This thing is very rugged. It is very well built, but it's also very luxurious and beautiful. So it's kind of like, it's a certain niche, right? Some people want it just to be more rugged. Now there are options where you could go with a Formica, which would reduce the weight a little bit and it would make it a little bit more, I guess, cheaper and utilitarian. Cool thing about these windows are dual pane. So they're super good for hot and cold. They're also good for sound. Very thick, there's a gas in the middle of it. Polycarbonate, 200 times stronger than glass of the same diameter. So if rock flies up, I've thrown baseballs at these and it doesn't break. You also have these screens. They're super fine for like mosquitoes, to keep the mosquitoes out. Or you can go blackouts at night and have it nice and dark and it clips in right there. Cabinetry, no wood in this trailer. No rotting, no warping, no delamination. It has this wood look to it, but it's not wood. This is all aluminum, CNC'd cut. And then they bend this in here so it kind of has that wood look. When you knock on it, kind of sounds like wood. A lot of people get confused because usually metal's tingy, right? If you like do that, you hear that ting. So they spray a foam inside of here that expands and it makes it so that metal tingy noise goes away. So there's so many little details that you just don't see. And then of course these locks, so there's no way for this to ever open up while you're driving down the road, which I think is super important. I have this pickle story where I was driving and I was in just a regular motorhome and I took a sharp corner, the cabinet opened, a jar of pickles came out, shattered everywhere. The whole trip we're like looking for the glass the whole time. The whole thing smelled like pickle juice. It wasn't fun. So there you have that. Tons soft close, right? So you have your sink, your stove, cooktop. This is super deep too as well, if you pull that out. And then you have a microwave. This is also a convection oven, so it will bake just like an actual house oven. This Garmin, this is the Garmin system. This is really cool. This is your water system, tank heaters, And then you can go into here, you can hit lights. So this is like the lights in here. You just click there, you can dim them down, right? Or you can go all the way bright. You can go your outside lights, you can control your outside lights, and then you have amber or yellow lights, which the bugs aren't as attracted to those. So if you look right here, you can see this. You have, you know, you have your rear light, you have your off-side road, you have your main door, and that's the white light just outside the door, or you go to amber, so the bugs aren't going to be as attracted to that. So there are a lot of cool things. You can also control the suspension in here, that air suspension. I said there's 12 inches of travel, which means when you get to camp, you can drop it all the way down, you can level it side to side, and then you're good to go camping. Coming over here, we have our Victron system. And you can see we have all our lights running all day. We're not plugged in, we're at 100%. We're bringing in, I mean, it's kind of cloudy and windy today, but we're bringing in 25 amps. Of course, it's at 100%, so it's kind of in a float stage, so it's not gonna bring in more than that. If it needed it, it would. You can go through here and there's so many different features in the Victron system that you can do. You can add sensors for temperature sensors. This right here is your battery compartment, tells us the temperature, the humidity. Obviously, those lithium batteries, you always want to keep them above freezing temps. So you want to be able to monitor that. And then also you have the ability to turn on a generator. I talked about there's a generator built underneath. You just, by a press of a button, generator fires up, and then you're good to go off grid forever. Like running the AC, right? If you're worried about the solar, fire up the generator and you're good. Air conditioning system. This is a Truma. This is a 13,500 BTU. Last time I checked, Truma, the Saventa, is the most efficient 120 volt air conditioner on the market. This is a German company and they are crazy when it comes to their engineering. Some of the nice little features, like a vacuum. This is a Dirt Devil vacuum. So you can actually use it comes with a hose. You just open it, plug it in there, or it comes with a sweeper. So if you push that, it sucks. So you can sweep stuff into it. When you're out camping, it always gets dirt. You're tracking in dirt, especially if you have kids. Now this unit is designed to sleep 4 people. That main area turns into a bed. And then if you come back into here, we have 2 singles on each side, but you can option this out. Let me actually show you. It's really easy to kind of get an idea of it. So this is how it's set up right here with a nightstand. Or you can do a king size bed and then they build nightstands along that side and you'll have outlets for charging devices and everything you need. You have Sirocco fans as well, so you can kind of get that airflow. These things are super efficient. They work off timers, so you can turn them on, set it to run for an hour or 2. And then of course you got some nice storage up here. Now if you do opt for the king size bed, it's always fixed, and this area that I'm standing in becomes some really long deep drawers for more storage. Currently you have a good amount of storage right here. These come out, and then of course you have this hanging storage. One of the things that is really nice is this bathroom. I'm not just kind of giving you an idea of how much space is in here. Lots of space. There's storage in front of me as well right here. And then moving up, you have a porcelain sink, and then mirror, lights, more storage. Oh, and got good news. You also have a porcelain toilet. Now, a lot of people that are overlanding, off-roading, we've been in this space. I believe we're one of the first dealers to exclusively work in the off-road space, and we're one of the first ones to import off-road trailers into America. So we've been in this space for a long time. I understand some people hate, this is a black tank. Some people hate the black tank, but we can do cassettes. We actually have an agreement with a company called Cinderella out of Norway, and they actually make an incinerator toilet that burns your poo to ash, right? So we install incinerators, we do lavios, we do dry flushes, we do composting toilets, so that you're not set to just one toilet. We can make any toilet for you. Now the last part is, how should we do this? You wanna, we'll shut this, and you come this way, and I'll move to the side. And this takes you into the shower. Of course, you can close off the bathroom door, and you can make this entire area. And I'm 6 feet tall, 250 pounds. So this is a pretty good size bathroom, shower thing. So there you have it. That is the Pause. If you actually want to see this unit, we have these in Utah, South Carolina, Colorado, Arizona. It's rvsofamerica.com, ROA or ROA Off-Road. We also have a YouTube channel. So if you're not subscribed to this channel, you should be subscribed, but maybe come check out our channel, ROA Off-Road. And I do like a lot more detailed tours on ours. And we actually go to the factory and get factory tours too, which is really fun. And you can really see behind the build how everything's constructed from the ground up.
So I'm Howard Lindsay from Landshark Trailers. This is our public debut at the 2025 Overland Expo. So our trailer, the Landshark, is based on a bunch of patented technologies. Those patented technologies include an external frame that you see shown here, which is an aluminum space frame. It also shows a unique hitch position where we actually connect the vehicle to either a Jeep or a Bronco on their factory hard points on their roll bar system, so that the Jeep features a brand we call High Hitch, which is also patented, that allows you to be able to redefine how you pull a vehicle, and there's a lot of reasons why that improves the dynamic stability of the system. The trailer also features a bunch of uniques to the industry, including ABS disc brakes, so it's compatible with your Jeep or Bronco that uses the same ABS modules and controls, and a bunch of other industry firsts, including a flooring system for both the patios and the storage bay doors from a company in Green Bay called Duckback Decking, which is a very unique product that we have exclusivity in the mobile market that allows you to be able to have the type of Trex type decking, but at 70% weight reduction. So there's many other features on here. We don't believe in stairs for getting in and out of a trailer. So for the segment in the market that we're positioning it to, we think a ramp entry is a much safer way. And you're looking at the ramp right now in highway mode. The system is driven by an independent airbag suspension technology that allows you to move the vehicle with an app up and down. And in this position that it's shown right now is actually in highway mode. The trailer actually drops 5 inches from here to be in camp mode. So that ramp is actually the entry in and out of the vehicle. The trailer also has a patio, a rear patio, so that you can put a quad or a motorcycle in there. We're staying within the limited towing capacity of the Jeep Wrangler at 3,500 pounds. And the trailer in this dry weight you see here is about 1,700 pounds. And we also are going to offer it not only as a finished trailer, but as a do-it-yourselfer. People can buy all of our technologies, have it delivered to your house, and we'll connect you with either our suppliers so that you can buy those suppliers at a very small 15% markup, and we'll literally deliver storage bay doors, the aluminum panels that are in the honeycomb, the partition panels, the windows, or you could do your own thing. And if we are your source, we'll charge you a 15% markup. If you want to do your own source, cabinets, finishes, solar, that's up to you. So we think we bring a unique solution to a part of the market that right now doesn't want to climb on top of a Jeep to go to bed, and they still want to experience their adventures in a place that you can't get to unless you go off-road and go off-grid. But there's also a series of water systems that are the limiting factor for taking a trailer off-grid is water. So this system has another patent pending feature that reroutes the water from the gray tank to the toilet. So we don't use fresh water to do the toilet. The awning system, developed in conjunction with Taruka Awnings, also has a rain catchment system. So if you're in a location where you're getting water and getting rain, you literally have a 7-panel system that can gather rainwater for your excursion. So there's a series of 9 different innovations that allow us to be, we think, unique in the industry, and we're positioning it to people that literally do not want to climb on top of a Jeep, and they want a real bed and a real shower and a real toilet, and I don't want to share it with my 75-pound lab. She sleeps in a different place, not in my bed with me after she's been in the lake all day. There's a spot on the back where you can actually convert that to bunk beds if you want to take your grandkids camping and extend them into your adventure or your children. And the folks at Taruka have an amazing wall unit that allows you to expand their large 270-degree canopy into a big tent. So you can literally extend the living quarters and sleeping quarters of your trailer with our partners from Taruka. So we'd love to hear you talk more about us. We're a new company, but if you give us a chance to be your trailer supplier, we'd be thrilled. You can visit us at overlandshark.com. Thanks for visiting.
Hi, I'm Brian from Bushlapa Off-Road Caravans. This is the Ratel. It's their flagship trailer. It's made in South Africa. This one here is configured to sleep 6 people, and I have it set up so you can see the the pantry and storage for plates and bowls and cups. And then we have over here our kitchen with our National Luna fridge and Cook Partner stove. And we have a cleanup set up there. And I'm standing underneath, this is they call it the Bushwing awning. It's made in-house in South Africa. We have the heavy South African canvas. This is a very large awning. It has walls and skirts for it, so this can be made into an outdoor room. It's very common in South Africa to do that. They like to roll out their carpet and make this just like a nice living room environment out here. Let's step inside. This features a pop-up roof. All the Bushlapas are a pop-up roof with the canvas walls on it. And as you can see, we got 2 double beds here, and in the front we have a queen bed. Our storage is we're using canvas for the cabinet doors here, so keep the trailer light. It's a stainless steel unibody construction with aluminum roof and doors and interior, so that keeps this trailer at about 2,800 pounds dry, which would be in this segment pretty much an ultralight off-road trailer. And also we have an outdoor shower room, so step out here with me. In this trailer we're using an on-demand water heater, and we have some storage out here on the door. This room is about 5 foot by 5 foot, very large for a toilet shower room. Let's step through and I'll see what else I can tell you. So it's my personal trailer. I have a few months of solid use on the trailer. We've been out trips for a month at a time with my family of 6. And it's been perfect for our needs as far as it's lightweight, so easy to tow. It's about 78 inches wide, so it keeps it narrow. It fits behind your vehicle very well. Can fit down basically any trail that your vehicle will fit. This trailer will fit too. Makes it very easy. I've even been through a drive-through, fast food drive-through in it. It's that small and light enough that any mid-sized vehicle is going to pull it pretty well. So if you want to know more about this trailer, visit the website www.bushlapa.com or email me at brian@bushlapausa.com. Hi, I'm Brian. Welcome to Bushlapa Off-Road Caravans. They are made in South Africa of stainless steel and aluminum. And let me show you what I got. Here we have a pantry. Quick fold down, easy access with stainless steel work surface. And we have our refrigerator, stove. We're using a National Luna on this one. And we have a Cook Partner stove here. And drawers. And let me take you inside. We have some more storage for cups, plates, bowls. Right on the door, this is a South African canvas made in-house at Bushlapa. Come inside. This trailer sleeps 4 people. It can be configured also to sleep 2 or 3 people. So you have a queen bed in the front and a double bed on the side. There's cubbies, ample cubbies, and also an inside sink here. The roof is an aluminum roof. It's a pop open with canvas. And we have additional storage, which would be under the bed here. There's some storage. And then all behind these canvas covers are more storage. So because this trailer is made of stainless steel and aluminum, it's a stainless steel unibody, the weight of this trailer is about 2,800 pounds dry, which would put you in a category of towing it with maybe a Jeep or something like a 4Runner. So it's ultra light in this segment. And it's really the thing that makes that happen is they're not using mild steel. There's no wood. It's all metal construction. And let me walk you through how to open the side bed. It's nice and easy. You tip out the bunk here, and then we put in a pole. And then wrap the canvas over the side. And then inside we just slide the mattress into place and you're ready for a night's rest. So really it's just a minute to open up a side bed there. Well, the maximum benefit of that is you get extra space. You're not confined to the footprint of the trailer. We're actually expanding past that, and it's very common in South Africa to have a design like this, and that's where the trailers are built. So if you want to know more about this trailer, my name is Brian. The website is www.bushlapa.com, and you can email me directly at brian@bushlapausa.com. Hello, I'm Brian from Bushlapa Off-Road Caravans. Here is the Bushlapa Miskruier. It is one of their lightest caravans. It weighs 1,900 pounds dry. It has a pop-up roof design and a rear entry on it. And it's shown here with the galley kitchen pulled out, and we have pantry storage on the side here. So this trailer is made of stainless steel and aluminum. It's a stainless steel unibody and aluminum doors, roof, and interior. That's really the key to how they keep it light, but yet don't sacrifice anything in strength. In the back here, we have a little kitchen cleanup area, and then we have our rear entrance here. Let me step inside. So here, this trailer is configured to sleep 4 people. We have a queen bed in the front and a double bed on the side. There's also storage, interior storage. We have cubbies that zip close with canvas and a pop-up roof. So I'm 6 foot. And this roof is, I believe, 6'8", so that leaves plenty of room to stand up and move around in here and fit 4 people in here comfortably for sleeping. So if you'd like to know more about this trailer or any other Bushlapa trailers, please visit bushlapa.com or email me at brian@bushlapausa.com.
Hey folks, welcome to Kimberly Campers. You're here at the Overland Expo West in Flagstaff, Arizona. So we're here just representing an Australian brand. We've come over here. Kimberly Campers, we've been around for about 32 years. Over in Australia, we've been here consistently for the last 5 years. We've got the worldwide launch, or actually so like the American launch of the Kimberly Kube this weekend, which is Kimberly's take on the new teardrop camper. Our products here are very different to what's out in the market at the moment. We're a brand that specializes in off-road and off-grid, specifically with all the amenities of everything that you need. We're running airbag suspensions on all of our units. We're running diesel-powered hot water systems in all of our units across the entire fleet. And also there's no wood in any of the construction at all. So we're running hot-tip galvanized chassis. We're running independent trailing arm suspension. We're running vented disc brakes on everything. And then we're running lithium batteries across the whole range. Solar panels come standard on everything that we do. And our focus really is getting you out there for longer, getting you to some of those out-of-the-way spots. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll enter into the Kimberly Kube here. As I say, there's a galley all the way through. Inside the Kimberly Kube here, there is a fair bit of seating for somebody. You can get dressed inside here, so you don't have to go outside. You don't have to lie on the bed to do it. It is that little bit squished. It doesn't pop up, but we've got a product that does that. We've got the bench top in here. This is all thermoformed acrylic, so Corian is what we're using there. We've got bamboo draw fronts. The bamboo side of things is all the sustainable materials that we try and use in everything that we're working. Everything comes with a 12-volt fridge. So this is a 130-litre fridge freezer that's easily accessible from the outside, but easily accessible from the inside as well. We've got storage up underneath the drawer here. We run fans internally. It's a full king-size bed inside here. We've also got a ton of storage and space once you move on and in. So inside there we've got that tons of space, tons of light, so it's not claustrophobic at all. And your 2 side windows open up. They are midgie screened or they're privacy screened, so super comfortable. You don't feel claustrophobic, but a ton of space in terms of like that traditional teardrop market. We're running composites inside here as well, so it's an alloy bed frame, an alloy bed base, and then we've got the large stainless steel kitchen on the outside of this. A whole lot of storage up the top here in terms of the overhead cabinets, so they're pretty deep. They go all the way to the back, and then there's about 6 of them in total. LED lights throughout, internal reading lights up the head, about 4 charge points for USBs, charging any of your devices. On this particular unit, we've also got a 2000 watt inverter, so that'll run most of your power consumption needs, even little small induction cookers. So what we'll do is we'll pop outside to the outdoor kitchen. We've got a large stainless steel kitchen here. We've got cutlery drawer on the inside. We've got storage for our bits and pieces here. We do actually have a cooker that goes inside this drawer here. So you've got a gas cooker on the outside that'll sit there. On this one here, it's a high-powered wok burner, able to do a whole lot of food prep here. We've got our washing with our diesel-powered hot water system on the outside, but there's actually a breakfast bar around this side. So on the breakfast bar here, if you've got little kids, they're able to come sit here, or alternatively, it just doubles your workspace in terms of what we're looking at. As we move around to the off side, we've got access to our air system. So on the air system here, this will basically run our compressor. So it's got a built-in compressor for your airbags on here. There is a jack there so that you can power up your tires. So we run about a 10-litre tank of compressed air inside there, but it is all remote control. So like that there, you can basically drop or you can lift up your suspension. So leveling it out is super easy in terms of where we need to go to. So that'll go all the way up there, and that'll be much higher than any vehicle that you've got, and essentially you can just drop it to whatever you need. So we've got approximately about 7 inches in travel. In the outside here, we've also got your outside hot and cold shower. So with the hot and cold shower, essentially so like we put a shower hose on the end here. It's got your shower mixer here, and you're able to have either a rinse off, or we do external showers. So we do a full external shower on the outside here. There's a change room just off the main door and an external shower there. So it's like you can basically have a hot and cold shower, step into the change room, get dressed, and then step into the van itself. So you're not getting any dirt inside the van at all. And then we've got 2 water tanks on board these guys here, and you're able to access either of those water tanks. So essentially, so like once you're finished from the side, from one tank, you're able to flip immediately over to the next tank. From our side of things, it's a 70 litre and 110 litre. I'm not 100% sure what that is in gallons. On the side of the units here, we've actually got like your rock sliders. Those rock sliders double up as somewhere you can just sit and tie your shoelaces, or a little workbench on the side of the road. But they also double up as storage space for being able to get to access to bits and pieces that you're keeping on the roof. Jump down from there. They then tuck away nice and neatly, and then they're all nice in line, nice and narrow for towing directly behind your vehicle, but super solid if you're doing any off-roading, if you bump anything off the side. So we're accessible, so like from the folks in America here. So if you go to our website, which is kimberlycampersusa.com.au, and that's Campers with a K, so KIMBERLEY KAMPERS USA.com.
My name's Luke. I'm with LostRoad Campers. We're based in Las Vegas, Nevada, and we're here at Overland Expo West showing off our new model, the Luna. This is our smaller trailer. It's garageable. We start with a steel chassis construction. We do an aluminum subframe and then aluminum skins, and then we do insulation and then our interior skin. But on the outside, we'll start, I guess, in the front. We do this, it's a huge 30 cubic foot tongue box, and this comes standard. We do the lock and roll hitch, but we can do the DO35, and we do standard with the arc jack, just because we really like to overbuild the front, because that's like the most important part of your trailer, you know what I mean? Coming back on the passenger side, we do a 54-inch slide out. This lets us do our dry pantry up front to kind of store your bread and chips and stuff like that. And you can do your freezer fridge in the front. This is a 45 liter fridge, but you can fit a 60. And it's just nice to have all your drinks and your food kept cold. Come around to the back. This is our slide out kitchen. This is on a 48-inch slide. We do a stainless steel top, and then everything else is an aluminum construction just to keep it light. But just a little bit of storage, a little table extension here just to give you some more cooking space. We do a propane stub out there, so you can hook in with a quick connect. You're like a Blackstone or a Cook Partner or anything, whatever your preferred brand is. And then we have a couple plugs here if you want to do an induction cooktop too. You can just plug that in there. We do our full-size spare standard. There's a 2-inch receiver, which we threw well through the bumper to the chassis. So you can do a 500-pound tongue weight, so smaller motorcycles you can fit on the back there. Come around to the driver's side. And here's our outdoor shower compartment. So you have your shower mixer there, little bit of space for like your soaps and stuff. And then this will open up into a private outdoor shower tent. Up front is our electrical compartment. This one, the way we built it, has a 200 amp hour lithium battery, 2,000 watt inverter, and the solar charge controller. And we're big fans of Renogy. That customer service is awesome. If you need replacement parts, they're really good about getting that stuff to you. So the interior here, the way this one's built out, we have a full-size queen in the bottom. This platform is another queen up top. And we got it out of the way, but you can just pull it down for when you want to go to bed. If you want to be able to stand up in here, it operates on these gas struts. We have a little bit of storage in the front, some more plugs for your inverter. This is our battery and solar monitoring system. This is our aux system, controls all the lights and the water pump and all that stuff. One of our big separating factors is our modularity. So all the interiors have this slat board, and you can kind of unclip and reclip and move around accessories that you like. Everything's kind of loose now, but they'll lock into place down there. And we make a whole line of our own accessories, or you can go to Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever and get their slapboard accessories. Everything works the same. A little bit of storage underneath the bed as well. Cabinets, we have a composting toilet here, and then dirty clothes hampers under the bed. If you want to get more information about our products, you can find our website at LostRoadCampers.com, and our Instagram is LostRoadCampers.